Visit middlesexhealth.org/spine.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What can you say to Minnesota? Are we going to be safe? Are we going to be okay? Are businesses going to go down? Your thoughts?
Well, it's my responsibility. I would tell Minnesotans that we are doing everything in our power to do that. And I want to hold those two truths at the same time. The folks you see out there at Brooklyn Center are in trauma, and they're rightfully angry at a system that does not serve them and puts Black youth and people of color at risk. That is all absolutely true. We also know from experience in May, there will be those that will exploit that.
Yeah. And welcome to your Thursday. It's August 8th, 2024, and I am here. It's Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC. A mere 6 days, folks. 6 days from one of the most important days on planet Earth. Just 6 days away. The day of my birth. The day of my birth. I kid. I am not that arrogant. I'm not that arrogant. I poke fun at that date, my birth date. I wasn't really big on my birthday ever in my life. Not even. Again, this one's a big one. As if you heard me earlier this week, I talked about how big this day is because I finally turned out to be the age that I wanted to be when I was 15 years old. I wanted to be 55. Now, I believe that 55, you are a man. You know, now you're a man. No one can call you young buck, young fella. You're a man. You are certified gold. You're not platinum yet. That's 75. But certified gold at 55. So I'm very excited about that day. Chat room already blowing up. Cammy is in the chat room. Fritz, of course, just celebrated his 46th recently. And Michael B in the house, many more to join as they hit the chat rooms. If you'd like to join the chat room, you can go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Join us on Facebook. You can join us on Rumble and everywhere else. And you can view my melodious voice on the show today. I got plenty of stuff to get into today. I want to go back into some of the stuff we talked about yesterday. This EverSource thing is not going away. And I've got some other questions. There were some things I needed to touch on with Ryan Fazio that I didn't get to because it was just a limited amount of time. And I kind of feel like I let Joe and Simsbury down because I need him. By the way, Joe, if you're listening, I want you back here. I want to spend a little time with just you and I going through stuff. Because let me break this down before I go into my opening monologue. It is, without a doubt, I do not pay the bills in my house. I just don't. I don't look at them. I never go over them. Today was the first time I actually looked at a bill. Only because I asked my wife, I need to understand this thing. And I needed to understand, like, what is exactly going on. Now, I get the whole thing about the EverSource ripoff, because that's what it is. And I think we should call it that. It's called the EverSource ripoff, or maybe it's the Ned Lamont ripoff. And maybe EverSource is the Shylock here. Because technically they are, right? The government, they send EverSource out to collect the VIG. That's what's happening here. So I want to get into that a little bit. So Joe and Simsbury, roughly around 4 o'clock, after we do traffic, Joe, call in. And folks, if you feel slighted, I apologize. But I want to just talk to Joe because Joe's actually done a lot of investigating this. And again, he's going to be teaching me and the rest of us so we understand what's going on. And I'll get into that as we get to the 4 o'clock hour. Mark said, no wonder your guns look so big. You're wearing a medium. This is a large there, buddy. Those guns are real. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in and around Connecticut, but more importantly, I want to get into what's going on with Tim Walz. And just for this break, if you'll indulge me, and then we'll get to the local stuff later. So I'm going to say something, again, these predictions have been coming like literally rapid fire as of recent, and I've been doing well. And I applaud myself for doing that because I normally don't give them. I hate prognostication. So I'm going to do it one more time. I've already done it with Joe Biden. I said that Joe Biden's got to resign. I don't know why, but I just don't think he's going to last 5 months. I don't think so. I said on my Sunday show 2 weeks ago, what's Joe Biden going to do for 5.5 months? He's just going to have like sightings. He's just going to be walking through the White House and people are going to be shouting at him, Mr. President, what's going on? And he's going to be like, and sure enough, that's what happened. That's what's been happening in the last couple of days. He's been seen in I'd like to call the Biden sightings. You'll see a UFO before you see Joe Biden actually reacting to anything now. It's like a 5-month vacation. Forget about the 3 years worth of one he's been taking already. But a prediction I gotta make now. Tim Walz may not survive the convention. I do not think that he can survive the convention. This stolen valor thing is a big deal, but that's not the worst part. And it is because of a quote that I saw today that is really bad. Tim Walz is being referred to as Bo Bergdahl, of all people. And I don't know about you, but to me, that's the death knell. Hear me out. Now, many people can say that Tim Walz decided to serve his country a different way by joining Congress. I would say to you, okay, sure, absolutely makes sense. But if we didn't have the backdrop of 6 months before a deployment into Iraq, during a time when Iraq was really volatile, 2005, that would be okay. But unfortunately, it was 2005. It looks like desertion. And no matter how Kamala Harris tries to spin it, the fact that she hasn't done a press conference for almost 20 days and won't meet with the press while this is brewing. You just made the pick. This is supposed to be, again, you had all of that momentum when you finally solidified the nomination before the convention. You got the endorsement of Barack Obama. You were running on an election high. Poll numbers. What do they say? Some poll numbers has Kamala Harris 8 points above Donald Trump. Donald Trump's in free fall because of this. And then you get Tim Walz. And the one thing that they have been hanging on Donald Trump about military service, it's the one thing that people keep going back to. The bone spurs, remember that? How many times did they keep bringing up, yeah, Donald Trump and the bone spurs, You got deferments. Yeah, you got so many deferments. And then you get the guy who, in essence, abandons his team and then lies about his military service everywhere. And it's on tape. And it's on tape that he's been warned about it by people in the region who are on tape speaking to his staffers, telling him that he is in violation of stolen valor and continue to do it. This ladies and gentlemen, is what I call political quicksand. Kamala Harris's team is not bright enough to wiggle out of this. And to be honest with you, I don't think they want to. I don't think that David Plouffe wants to wiggle out of this. Again, I believe that this is a concerted effort to implode this campaign. You can't make a mistake like this. And it's not like they didn't. Eric Holder is the former top cop of the United States. He is the former Attorney General of the United States. If there's any guy who knows how to vet someone, he should be the guy. If he is in charge of vetting the person, and again, we're talking about, what is this, a black-on-black crime? This guy is making sure, in essence, Eric Holder is in charge of helping Kamala Harris secure what can only be an historic election of the first woman of color president of the United States. It is the biggest campaign in history. It's bigger than Barack Obama's, bar none. It's bigger than Barack Obama's. To leftists and identity politics likes, this is the biggest campaign ever. If you think about what people said about Barack Obama's election, what did he go? It was going to get rid of the strain of racial strife in this country for a millennia. Well, that's what they told us, but we knew that was nonsense. But imagine what this is going to be. This is going to prove the one theory that they've been trying to prove for 100 years, that America wants a female president and one of color. And Eric Holder picked this guy? He's not going to survive. And if Kamala Harris has to constantly keep addressing her vice presidential candidate after everything you watched J.D. Vance endure by the media, the weird thing, the fabricated couch story, Donald Trump is regretting his choice of J.D. Vance. You're going to sit up here and tell me that that's not the same for Kamala Harris, according to these same media outlets? Of course it is. It's far worse. He cannot survive the onslaught today or tomorrow. The fact that Hillary Clinton would tweet out the picture of Tim Walz on a tampon box and say that the moniker of Tampon Tim was a good thing shows that it's resonating. They are even trying to spin that. And it's not working. It's backfiring. And this is it's an unforced era of epic proportions. And I believe that this is being done on purpose. Someone's going to have to convince me otherwise. The polling data notwithstanding, and I know people are saying, well, Reese, the polling data says this, and the polling data says that. I'm checking these numbers. There's one number that's not moving. And I find it odd because they keep doing the polling and the number is not moving. And that's Rasmussen. Everyone else's polling data is all over the place. It's gone to epic proportions. And I'm wondering, what's going on? Is there something afoot here? Yes. Polling data is being done today, what it was supposed to do in 2004 and then in 2008. It's supposed to tell the opponent or the opposing party, don't bother. They've got this sewn up. It's a discouragement poll number. That's all that's for. But you're going to have to explain to me how Tim Walz survives lying about his military service, abandoning his platoon, the aforementioned tampon story, the fact that he let his city burn down for 4 days, gave up the 3rd precinct, sided with the rioters and not the cops, defunded the cops, when all across the country, some of the biggest stories are pushing back on all of those things I just mentioned. And you're going to tell me that Kamala Harris's polling number is going up? That's nonsense. The jig is up. No one believes a word of that, and neither does the media. There wouldn't be so much of trying to bolster, if not inflate, the character of Tim Walz at this point if they didn't already know he is an anvil around this campaign. He's got to go, and there's still time. The question is, I think the biggest problem is you can't go backwards and get Shapiro. And I don't think Mark Kelly would take it either. So when we come back, I'll tell you who the sacrificial lamb is, according to me. I believe that the sacrificial lamb is going to be the least of all of these so-called bench players in the Democrat Party. But the damage is already going to be done because, remember, they immediately are going to have to start printing new flyers. They have to. Walz's campaign is a done deal. Walz's time, he'll be on a high for a little bit, but that's all come crashing down. He's released no statement, but the campaign has. J.D. Vance is in opposition of Tim Walz, and they both have military records. One of which the news media today is trying to smear unsuccessfully, while they're trying to cover for a guy whom his own members of his troop are calling out that he abandoned them and that he is a coward. You can't call this guy strong. You can't call this guy a leader. You can't call him the future of the party. He was never going to be, not with this record. Never. I guarantee you, he's out by the convention, if not before, during. I'm certain of it. And that's going to completely dismantle the Kamala Harris campaign. They can't go forward. That's my prediction. Tell me if I'm wrong. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We'll take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. I'm Reese on the Radio, News Talk, 1080 WTIC.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Ew, what's that smell? There's sewage all over the basement. It's coming out of the toilet and the shower. Honey, this stinks. We need to call the bee.
It's finally getting warm again, and that means it's growing season. Below the surface, tree roots are growing into your sewage system. For $89, we will come out and perform a video camera inspection of your drainage system to ensure everything flows out of the house instead of back into it. We offer very affordable payment plans as low as 0%. Call the bee today. Callthebee.com. That's calltheletter.com.
Hey, fantasy football fans, do you want to be the owner who was doing a cram session the night before the draft? I didn't think so. You need to start your prep now. This is Faraz from Upper Hand Fantasy. Zach and I are here to get you ready for your fantasy football drafts with insights and advice. From sleepers to busts, we've got you covered and give you the upper hand on your friends. Today is the day to start getting ready for the draft. So join us and stay ahead of the competition. Follow and listen to Upper Hand Fantasy on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free. at ziprecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ziprecruiter.com/free.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, 71 degrees, cloudy skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. State legislative Republicans want Governor Lamont to call a special session. This in light of skyrocketing Eversource bills customers have been receiving over the last few weeks. Reasons given by the utility include the public benefits and having to make up for revenue lost during the COVID moratorium. Lamont says he's not sure a special session would make an immediate impact. State Bond Commission's given the go-ahead to use $118 million to renovate the aged XL Center. The improvements were already okayed by the CRDA. They will include, among other things, more luxury suites and better seating to help attract big-name entertainment. 2 men were shot in Hartford overnight. Police say they were processing a scene on Orange Street around 10:45 last night when they received word that one man arrived at Hartford Hospital and another at St. Francis, both victims listed in stable condition. There was a hearing in New London following the release of a federal report this week calling on the Coast Guard to end a culture of cover-up when it comes to sexual assault and harassment. 5 whistleblowers testified that they were discouraged from reporting what happened to them and intimidated when they did. Searchers have found a body in a home destroyed by a tornado in North Carolina that was spun out of Tropical Storm Debbie. The death toll now 7 from the storm that first made landfall on Monday in Florida. And former President Trump held a news conference at his Florida beachside compound today, says he is eager to debate Vice President Harris and has agreed to at least 3 debates in the run-up to the November election. WTIC News Time is 3:32. Checking traffic, we've had several issues out here this afternoon on the roads. One vehicle crash in Farmington, eastbound 84 between exits 37 and 39. That should be off on the shoulder. They're doing emergency road work out on 91 northbound in Hartford between 32 and 33 that may be linked to an earlier tractor-trailer rollover. Down in Meriden, 15 north between exits 68N and 68W. Right shoulder closed with a 2-vehicle crash there. 72 east in Plainville between 4 and 2. Right lane closed for a 2-vehicle crash. And down in Griswold, 395 south, that's closed between exits 28 and 24. Car went down an embankment there. Bob Larson with the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Mostly cloudy the rest of this afternoon. The shower too, a high around 75. Increasingly humid tonight with a couple of showers, low 67. Cloudy, humid and warmer tomorrow with some showers and thunderstorms from Tropical Rainstorm Debbie. Most numerous during the afternoon and tomorrow night. There could be flooding, power outages, and even an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82, low tomorrow night 74. Improving weather this weekend. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Wall Street, the Dow up 589 points. Nasdaq's ahead 395, and the S&P's up 104 a half hour before the close. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
I don't like onions. I'm doing paleo. Do they have gluten-free bagels? You can't juggle every food request for a work event, or can you? EasyCater is the all-in-one tech platform that makes it easy to get restaurant catering for work, with options for any group, size, taste, dietary preference, or budget. EasyCater saves your favorite restaurants and orders, which makes reordering a snap. Need to modify an order? No problem. So when it comes to food for work, make it easy on yourself with EasyCater. Start your order at easycater.com.
It's summer in Britain, and the crimes are just getting started.
I found another body.
Stream the best of British crime drama, only on BritBox. Don't miss new seasons of acclaimed series like Blue Lights, which Time Out calls Belfast's answer to The Wire. And The Responder, starring Martin Freeman in his international Emmy award-winning role.
I can feel it. I'm going to crack.
Stream the best of British crime drama on BritBox.
You know, this is why I want to be a detective.
Watch with a free trial today.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
I like that smooth stuff there. You heard the big voice. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We'll have Joe in Simsbury up at 4 o'clock. I just got a confirmation from him. Breaking news, the World Federation of Advertisers shuts down the GARM project after Elon Musk rumbles sue over ad boycott. That is absolutely great news. For those of you who follow that, you know what it is. Check it out online. I read the Epic Times. Sometimes I read that often. It's actually a really, really good newspaper. I knew nothing about it for years. And then I got an opportunity to see someone that introduced it to me. And I'm just going, oh. And then I saw their website and watched the video. I was like, oh. I really, really like. That's the kind of stuff that I like. What they're doing in the Epic Times. They have this little bit called Facts Matter. They have this video that they do. It's great. And It's very detailed. It's one of my favorite things on there. So, again, my prediction, Tim Walz, vice presidential candidate for the Kamala Harris-Walz campaign, out by the convention. I think it's only right that that happens during the convention. They're forced, because I think that, in the next week or so, we've got at least another 7-8 days. This scandal is going to be too much to bear. But let me add on to this. And people, they don't do this, so I don't want to suggest that I'm smarter than you or I'm doing more than you or all that other stuff. I'm an extra type guy. So I'm going to say this to you. I'm looking at the data. Who's watching what and why? Fox News has gone full bore on Tim Walz and this issue, his military service. They are ranking in 4 times the amount of viewers that MSNBC and CNN are watching. No one's watching them. They are pulling in better ratings than ABC, NBC, and CBS news channels. So Fox is where everyone's going. Democrats, independents, undecided, Republicans, they're all going there. The ratings show it. So while you think that there's a spin happening on liberal media, it's ineffective because more people are watching Fox News and they are going nuts. Plus you got Newsmax, plus you got One America News, and then you've got what's going on Twitter and Facebook and everything else. So the story's not going away and the momentum is stunning. That's without a doubt. So trust me when I tell you this is going to be too much for them to bear. And they're going to have to say, I'm sorry, Tim, we have to move on. It's just a fact. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Ralph in South Carolina. Hey, Ralph.
Reese, I hope life is treating you well.
I'm sorry?
I said I hope life is treating you well.
I try to take advantage of every beautiful moment, sir, but thank you.
Good for you. And by the way, you said 55 and 75 is platinum?
No, I said 55 is golden and 75 is platinum.
What's 82?
82. Whoa, man, 82.
Certified diamond.
Certified diamond. Okay, I like that. Certified diamond.
Thank you, sir, gentlemen. First thing, I would like to ask you and all your listeners, I know speaking to the choir, how many young men do you know, Reese, who get a menstrual cycle every month?
I know. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to put tampon machines inside boys' bathrooms. This guy, like I said, he's not up to stuff. He's not up to snuff. This guy is
why would
I'm sorry.
Why would anybody with half a brain say that was a smart thing to do or a good thing to do? I mean, the average person, if they had a son and you said, well, how often does he get his menstrual cycle? They'd look at you like you were some kind of an idiot.
Yeah, and even if there was a case where there were biological girls who identified as boys and were using the boys' bathroom, the number of which were actually doing that in public school bathrooms would not qualify or even reasonably qualify the state to spend that kind of money for those individuals. We're talking about, in essence, it would be like $600,000 per every student. And tampons expire for that matter. So it was a complete waste of money, even if it was happening one child per school.
Also, I think that if you're watching the news as far as the transgender issue where he's saying that you can come from another state.
Oh, yeah.
And we will tell your parents go to hell.
Exactly.
And that we are going to perform surgery on you. If you look now, what's going on in France, in England, they've stopped it all.
Yeah, but you know what the crazy part is, Ralph? Don't forget, the other part is that she didn't mention there was about, you can come to our state and get that mutilation done on you. The crazy part is that he proposed legislation, I think he passed legislation, that would imprison the parents if they refuse to acknowledge their child's sexual orientation.
Well, what I would like to see happen, Reese, is if any child they did that to, after 2 or 3 years, they realize that this is I'm just a normal person, and this was a phase I was going through. Sue the state of Minnesota for hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Yep.
And one last thing I would like to add, and I'd like to know what your stance is. I would like every Republican running for office in the state of Connecticut for the Congress and the Senate, ask every single opponent, where do you stand on abortion?
Damn right. I agree with you. They have to. Exactly right. Thank you, Ralph. Let me go to Jim in Wellington. Hello, Jim. You're on Reese on the Radio.
How you doing? Hey, here's some continued lunacy. You want to give a 12-year-old kid a sex change operation, and then throw his parents in school.
Right.
I mean, throw them in prison.
In prison, right.
That 12-year-old kid can't drive a car, can't drink.
Becomes a ward of the state.
He can't even vote. He can't do nothing. What 12-year-old kid do you know doesn't change his mind when he's 16, again at 20, again at 25, then again at 30?
Listen, what makes this so insane, Jim, think about this. We're looking at two candidates that were thinking about or who have openly expressed the punishment of parents for their legislation. Think about it. Kamala Harris wanted to imprison parents for children's truancy. And now you got this bozo who wants to imprison parents because they don't want to adhere to gender roles.
Well, let me add this. I don't know if you remember a guy named Bud Melman.
Oh, yeah.
Bud Melman was a character on the David Letterman show.
Yeah, that Larry Bud Melman.
Yeah, there you go. The governor from Minnesota, he's a political equivalent, okay? He's a political equivalent. Not only that, but I believe that Kamala Harris was a protege of Obama.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that goes without saying. Yeah, her whole I'd say, coronation into the Senate was pretty much pushed by Obama. He handpicked her in California and helped her so she could get that Senate seat. I mean, that was his doing.
So anybody who lives in Minnesota can tell you the story on the governor. Anybody.
Oh yeah.
Anybody you could have went on YouTube and picked any one of those YouTube posts up there, and you could have found out about this guy from Minnesota. And Eric Holder, who's supposed to be the brainiac.
Exactly.
This has to be some type of crazy fix.
No,
no possible way.
I'm telling you, like I said, listen, this is an Arkham Razor moment, right? So, Jim, what you're saying is what I'm saying. There is no way in your right mind, with everything you've heard about Kamala Harris over the past 4 years, the lowest rating of any vice president of the United States. Dan Quayle had a better rating than her. Dick Cheney had a better rating than her. You know that she's handpicked by Barack Obama. This woman has never been. In fact, when they were thinking about getting rid of Joe Biden, before they were thinking about getting rid of Joe Biden, they told everybody that Joe Biden should get rid of her on the ticket. Couldn't do it because of DEI.
Well, let me throw in one more thing before I have to get off the air here.
You got it.
Maybe they dump him like you say they're going to do, and let's bring Bill de Blasio back. Let's bring him back. Let's do the vice presidential choice. Or how about Cuomo? If you bring de Blasio back, you get his wife. And the last time I checked, she lost $200 million in New York City. They still haven't found that money.
I'm telling you that it's interesting, but they are going to throw Andy Bashir as the new running mate. They have to.
Oh my God!
He's the weakest. He's the weakest.
What about Acosta? Why don't you bring Acosta?
Oh, no. She first of all, she would never do that because, trust me, that young lady would harm herself if she ever lost to Donald Trump in the general election.
Well, and the last thing I'm going to say, and thanks for the time, by the way,
My
is
pleasure.
that the
Rasmussen poll, yeah.
I don't care who they pick. Trump's going to win this 3-4%.
Oh, yeah. And don't listen to me. Don't take the Scott Rasmussen poll, by the way. I loved it when Drudge Report said Rasmussen has Kamala up by 8, and I opened up the link, and it's Scott Rasmussen. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, I hear you. As long as they do their reporting, as long as they do their interviewing with local news, with local people in all those states that Trump needs to win.
Yeah.
The local news, you know what I mean? You're going to get you're going to get more locally when people are going to watch that more or less than they watch anything else. I mean, the
Indeed.
people on the fence I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I buy. I don't see Trump lose this. I see him winning it big.
So do
Let's
I.
see what happens in
Yeah,
4 months.
exactly. Thank you, sir. All right, everybody else, I want you to hold on. Daryl, Jim, George, please hold on. I will get you guys on the opposite side of the break. I promise I'll get to you, because if I go out early, then I can have more time with you. So stick around. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Yes, it's Andy Bashir. I promised I would give you my lead in. Andy Bashir, he's going to have to fill in. Shapiro's going to say nope. And Mark Kelly is going to say, no, I don't want it either. He wants to have a shot at 2028. They're going to realize the writing's on the wall. Everything will start to plummet. Kamala Harris will finally start to, she'll start taking on water, and the entire campaign is about to be sunk. So they're hyping up everybody for now, but it's about to go downhill. Oh, yeah, trust me. Trust me. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get back to your phone calls after it. It's Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Mark, and my family's from Bristol. I contacted Allaire Elder Law after realizing I could not complete the Connecticut Title 19 Medicaid application on my own. I completely underestimated the amount of work and knowledge needed to not make any costly mistakes. A family I know tried to save money by doing the Title 19 work on their own. They made an honest mistake on the paperwork submitted to the state, and it cost them more than $50,000. Allaire Elder Law met my number one goal when I decided to work with them, to make sure my parents and their assets were protected legally so they can enjoy the rest of their time together and not worry about becoming one of the Title 19 horror stories. And our family cannot thank them enough.
Find out more at allaireelderlaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Mom, meet Sarah.
1 minute.
I'm Nana Moment.
Welcome to Flight 101.
To annual Girls Trip Moments.
Oh, that's
Your
good. I should be able to
can't-miss
get everybody
moments are
now.
worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Back when this song came out, I didn't like it much, but I like it now. I love this
Go
beat
hard,
now.
boy.
Yeah. All right, let's get straight to the phone call so we can get as many people in as we can. Let's go to Daryl in Hartford. What's up, Daryl? You're on Reese on Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, hi, Reese. Yeah, I just wanted to disagree with you. I do think that there's a reason why I think that they actually put this guy in with her, and that's because they're going to win the election. And the reason why I say this, first of all, I'm not too big on either Fox News or Newsmax. Fox News because what they did to people like Tucker Carlson, O'Reilly, Megyn Kelly, Glenn Beck, so forth. Newsmax, what they did to Wayne Allen Root, Mike Lindell, They actually fired a White House reporter over COVID-19 reporting because they received COVID-19 funding from the government.
Right.
Chris Reddy did. But anyways, I think that if you look at it, Trump lost the last time, and nobody's really explained the reason why, outside of the fact that either he sabotaged himself by going all in on the COVID-19 during the government order to Fauci, or the mail-in balloting resulted in him basically the Dems stealing the election from him.
Gotcha.
But then again, that wouldn't have happened if he didn't sabotage his own administration by allowing them to do that and to close down the country. Or
you believe that
people,
you believe that him closing. Hold on one second. You just believe that you said that him closing down the country may have lost him votes. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, I think that because he sabotaged a great economy.
Okay. No, the only reason why I disagree with you on that level, Daryl, is only because the numbers say otherwise. Because in a tumultuous presidency for 4 years, Donald Trump from 2016 up until the 2020 election, Donald Trump in 2016 beat Hillary Clinton in the electoral college vote. He lost the popular vote by 3 million. He's 63, she's 65, 66, right? With the administration that he had, COVID and the collapse of the economy when COVID happened, Donald Trump on November 5th? He pulled in 75 million votes. So for a guy who was having problems, I think, and I only say this, not that I have a problem with you disagreeing. I'm just saying that there's one part that I do believe, I agree with you on. I believe that the absentee ballot thing, or that played a key role in giving people an opportunity to cheat because you have no checks and balances, right? Because I'm still looking at, and it's fair to say that there may have been some people on the Republican side who may have been doing a little bit of shenanigans. We don't know that. We don't know that for certain. But when I look at it under the grand scheme, when this guy, if you look at COVID being the factor of why he left, I keep asking the question, why does he grow in numbers to the tune of 12 million?
I agree with you. I just want to say, if you look at, like the National Sousa's, something mules,
2,000 mules, yes.
I definitely agree with that. I can't disagree with that documentary. I just want to say that I think they're going to do the same shenanigans again. Because have Republicans done anything about the mail-in balloting? I don't think so.
No, not
outside maybe Florida.
Not
And
particularly.
I, gotta tell you, I think if we had gone DeSantis, there's a possibility that we could have done everything we wanted with him, because he's got a record that's fantastic in Florida, and we wouldn't have all the baggage with Trump. With that being said, I'll still vote for Trump, but I'm still concerned about the mail-in ballot.
I totally agree. I hear you loud and clear, Daryl. Trust me, it doesn't. Listen to me. What you're talking about is a concern many of us have. We are not going gung-ho on this, saying that Donald Trump, again, I think it's fair to say this, and I'll put it this way. This is Donald Trump's election to lose because the Democrats have screwed it up so badly. You know what I mean? It's like with everything that they've done over the last 3 years, not just inflation and the policies of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's everything that's taken place as a whole, and that's societal stuff, from the LGBTQ community to the drag queen, all of this language police, CRT, DEI, everything that was allowing the entire country to change at the drop of a hat or on turn around on a dime. There was a frustration amongst the American people, no matter what stripe politically they are on. And I think Donald Trump is sort of resonating with people who are saying, I'd rather go back to that guy than to have my entire life uprooted by these new ideas or these new ideals that I can't question.
See, the thing I can't understand is how they were able to go with this vice presidential pick and not think that it would affect them because he's so radical. And the only thing I can think of is they're so sure they're going to win because of the mail-in balloting.
And you don't want to give any credence to the fact that they're sabotaging her. You don't believe that one bit.
The thing is, look in 2022, the midterm elections, everyone thought it was going to be a red wave. And what the heck ended up happening?
That's true. That's true.
Outside of DeSantis in Florida, we really did not do well.
I hear you.
Like, okay, we haven't done anything to correct that problem, and I think the Republicans are going to shoot themselves in the foot again somehow.
Don't despair. Listen, don't despair, Daryl. I promise you, don't despair. But keep listening, because I'm going to address that soon. All right, let's get to the BPS Traffic Center. Wait a minute, because Mark's not in today, and I totally forgot. Andre Farrell's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Andrew. Andre
Farrow from the Brown Payne Dearest and Scott Lawyers Traffic Center. Let's go right out to the Buckley Bridge where we have a crash. It's in the westbound direction on 84. Right before you get to the Buckley Bridge, the right lane is knocked out. Also, road work on 91 in the northbound direction over by exit 33 slowing you down. We have construction on Route 44.
What's up, Michael A?
Direction right by Waterville Road and Nod Road. As you make your way past Mountain Road, there's the right lane out there. Eastbound 84 heading towards the heart of
I'll be right back.
Seeing some big delays there. Traffic together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I work at the seafood counter at Big Y.
And I'm Mark, an aspiring seafood chef.
A few months ago, Mark didn't know the difference between halibut and haddock.
I do now, and I know that the best fish comes from your local partner, North Coast Seafoods. It's more than food, it's my Big Y.
WTIC weather. Mostly cloudy the rest of this afternoon. The shower too, a high around 75. Increasingly humid tonight with a couple of showers, low 67. Cloudy, humid and warmer tomorrow with some showers and thunderstorms from Tropical Rainstorm Debbie. Most numerous during the afternoon and tomorrow night. There could be flooding, power outages, and even an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82, low tomorrow night 74. Improving weather this weekend. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. State Republicans in the legislature are calling for a special session of the General Assembly to address surging electric bills. One of their plans would address the public benefits charge, which Republicans like Senator Ryan Fazio say the state should pay off as part of its budgets.
You should not be forced to pay a hidden tax in your electricity bill every month as a matter of course. That is contributing to Connecticut having the highest electricity rates in the country.
Governor Lamont says that much of that charge goes back to a bipartisan deal to fund the state's lone nuclear power plants.
The public benefits charge is a small portion, maybe 22% of the overall bill. And by far the biggest piece of that public benefits charge is keeping our nuclear power plant millstone going.
He says he would consider a special session if Republicans were proposing, quote, real things that would make a difference. His office says everyone should focus on conservation efforts. There was a hearing in New London today following the release this week of a federal report calling on the U.S. Coast Guard and Academy to end a culture of cover-up when it comes to sexual assault and harassment. 5 whistleblowers testified that they were discouraged from reporting what happened to them and intimidated when they did. Retired Lieutenant Commander Tina Owen testified on one of multiple assaults she says she endured in a 30-year career.
My first assault occurred in the x-ray room by the health service technician first class, who eventually was caught after taking over 100 inappropriate x-rays and was sent to the brig.
Senator Richard Blumenthal, who chairs the Senate subcommittee that held the hearing, called the findings shocking and heartbreaking and said the branch should be more transparent and more accountable. There's been another death from listeria linked to Boar's Head deli meat. Correspondent Sabrina Cupit is in Atlanta.
This is the third death linked to the recalled Boar's Head deli meat. It's in Virginia. The other 2 deaths are in Illinois and New Jersey. CDC here in Atlanta saying at least 43 people have ended up in the hospital with listeria after eating the deli meats. Just over a week ago, Boar's Head recalled 7 million pounds of its meats on top of the 103 tons of its products recalled a week earlier. The recall included more than 70 products. A class action lawsuit's been filed in New York against Boar's Head, saying the expanded recall should have come earlier. Sabrina Cupit for CBS News, Atlanta.
Former President Trump held a news conference today at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. He criticized the Harris-Walz ticket, saying Governor Walz mishandled riots in Minnesota following the murder of George Floyd. Trump says he's agreed to 3 debates with Harris.
I think it's very important to have debates, and we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement, subject to them, on September 10th. And we've agreed with ABC on September 25th.
No calm before the storm in central Virginia for emergency officials as they prepared for the effects of Tropical Storm Debbie. Governor Youngkin there declared a state of emergency earlier in the week, releasing additional resources for a response. Katie Carter of the Virginia Department of Emergency Management says beginning tomorrow, the Unified Response Team, including state, private, and nonprofit groups, will be staffing the Emergency Response Center until the storm passes.
Really anything west of 95, but we're looking at central and south central Virginia, particularly Danville and areas a little bit farther to the southwest, and that region to be the heaviest hit.
7 deaths have been attributed to the storm thus far. Now this report from the Summer Games, sponsored by Middlesex Health, the smarter choice for care.
CBS Summer Games. Here's Wendy Gillette.
Noah Lyles didn't get the finish he wanted in the 200-meter after his 100-meter win by 5 thousandths of a second. He instead got the bronze, not able to join an elite group of just 10 sprinters who have won both races. The U.S. men's basketball team is facing Serbia in the semifinal. It's the two teams' third meeting in just over 3 weeks after an exhibition game and the group stage here at the Olympics. The U.S. won both. Whoever gets the victory in tonight's match will battle home favorite France in Saturday's final after its 73-69 win over Germany in the other semi, which had fans yelling and celebrating in the streets. The U.S. women's volleyball team is through to the final after a bruising 5-set match against Brazil, Team USA's foe in the final in Tokyo, which gave the Americans Olympic gold for the first time. In speed climbing, Sam Watson had to settle for the bronze, but set a new world record in the small final. I'm Wendy Gillette at the Summer Games in Paris, CBS News.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go, so I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today.
Closing
Beacon, always building.
There we go. Closing bell report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. The market's continuing to claw their way back from Monday's disaster. The Dow gained 683 points today, the NASDAQ up 464, and the S&P gained 119 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, low to...
1 minute.
A host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're feeling like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return. That brain fog will go away. Your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone, the
And 10, and you just coming right in.
800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we got plenty of news and plenty of views coming for you very soon. We're going to have Joe in Simsbury on the line. So I wanted to talk to him a little bit about, extensively about this Eversource thing, because I noticed something else that doesn't seem to be making sense either. And I had to pull the wife in to talk about it because I wasn't getting it because I don't pay the bills. She does. And that's my own fault. Of course, I should understand what I'm paying for, but I trust my wife. So, Joe's actually really, really been in depth. So he's going to call, if he's not online already, but he's going to call after the BPS traffic report so that I can get a breakdown of, in answer to some of the questions that I have, because I think something else is afoot here that's really fleecing nutmeggers in a very nefarious way. And Ned Lamont needs that special session yesterday, as I told him. All right, let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Andre Ferro.
Andre Ferro from the Brown Payne Dearest and Scott Lawyers Traffic Center. Westbound delays continue across the Buckley Bridge where we have a crash in the right lane. It's been out there for quite some time, since about 3:15. Now, if you're traveling eastbound on 84, right around exit 44, you start tapping the brakes all the way into the heart of Hartford. And then eastbound Route 44, you're slow. We have construction in the right lane, right around the area of Route 10. And we're seeing southbound delays from 291 down to the heart of Hartford. More delays on the southbound side of 91 through Rocky Hill and northbound Route 9. Lots of volume through Middletown. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Say cloudy the rest of this afternoon. The shower or two, a high is 70 to 75. Tonight, cloudy and turning quite humid with a couple of showers at a low in the mid-60s. Cloudy, humid, and warmer tomorrow. A few showers and thunderstorms from tropical rainstorm Debbie, most numerous in the afternoon and at night. And there could be drenching downpours that could lead to localized flooding. Tomorrow's high 82 and a low tomorrow night is 74. Improving weather for the weekend. There could be residual flooding early Saturday, but otherwise clouds giving way to sunshine. Breezy and turning less humid. And Saturday's high 85. It's now 70 in Windsor Locks. It's 67 degrees in Middletown. It's 68 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and...
It may get that bad, Fritz. I don't want anybody to put their life at risk, but I understand what you're saying.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
And what could be better than two of your favorites for $3.99? Like the McDouble, McChicken, or 6-piece McNugget. So stop in for twice the delicious. Price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
What if I told you you're
Hold on a minute.
already
Got
past
it.
their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box stops this fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos. Legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/value.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080. Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
So I've been going over this bill for Eversource and the breakdown. And something struck me as odd. And I don't call myself, Inspector Clouseau. I'm not Columbo. But when I see something, it sticks out. I have to pay attention to it. So thankfully, and I was so happy that he called, Joe and Simsbury called day before, and was breaking down this bill. Most importantly, the public benefits portion of the bill. And many were led to believe, at least based on the reporting, that this money was being taken from consumers because of the allocation of electricity at a time when they were allowing electricity to, electric and lights to stay on, even if you weren't paying the bill, because it was COVID and post-COVID and all that other stuff. And in essence, they were getting a return on their investment of giving everybody free electricity. And then through Joe's investigation, he was the first person to reveal, and then others started reporting it, that this public benefit charge was systems benefit charges, conservation and load management, renewable charge. But the thing that stuck out with all of that was what everyone is told day after day after day about energy is to conserve it. Get Energy Star. Turn your lights off. Don't use so much power. Keep your temperature at a certain level so that you, one, conserve energy, and two, it'll help you save money. But here, we've got Eversource charging people for these public benefits, and they're charging customers for stuff they never asked for. And it was passed through legislation behind their backs. But this is the question I want to ask that's in the bill. Hopefully Joe can answer it. I don't know if he will. Transmission and local delivery charges. I looked at a couple of bills across the country. They are not this big. Let me give you an example. This one thing this is on the Hartford Courant's article that came out today. Yes, today. They give you an example of a bill, $270.27. They break down the current charges. It says supply $87.04, transmission $30.47, local delivery $81.69, and then the public benefits of $71.06. Is transmission and local delivery the same thing? Because I thought the transmission was the delivery of the electricity, but maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully Joe can explain that to me or someone else. Maybe we'll get Ryan Fazio to come back on here. But on the line with us is Joe in Simsbury. How are you doing, sir?
Hi there, Reese. So to answer your question, I have my bills in front of me, and I have noticed that, and I never honestly noticed it until I got into this public benefit thing. But it is kind of confusing because transmission is the cost to maintain the towers and lines.
Okay.
And it's regulated by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission.
Right.
And local delivery is to build, maintain, repair the poles, lines again, and meters. So I don't know if I'm assuming transmission, I could be wrong, is the big stuff.
Right.
You know, the big towers and everything, and the local delivery is more at the street level.
Okay, so local, in essence,
Either way, they're both outrageous.
Right, they are outrageous, especially for this bill, because you're almost paying the local delivery charge in this particular bill that's in the Hartford Courant. And I implore you folks, so you can understand, you can get visual aid. Go to the Hartford Courant's article today, because that's the picture I'm using. It's the John J. Customer at 123 Main Street. They're breaking it down on here. So according to this, 41% of the bill is transmission and local delivery, and your supply is only 32%. So if I'm getting this correct, you're paying more for the electricity, or at least more for the maintenance than your actual electricity use.
So my supply versus my transmission and local delivery is roughly equal month after month.
Okay.
But let me talk about something to do with supply, because this is what I found out yesterday.
Okay.
So we've been told that and encouraged that we can choose our own supplier. So you can go on the Eversource website, set up an account if you don't have one, and they give you multiple page after page options of people that are willing to supply the electricity at potentially lower rates.
Right.
So I had done that, and I noticed a big spike in my bill in the supply part of it, and I looked into it and found out that this company had raised the rates from, and they did tell me originally that these rates are good for X amount and then they could be raised, but they just never notified me when they did the raising. I would have appreciated that.
Right, but they say that these rates may be subject to increases.
Yes, after a certain time period that's agreed upon between the customer and the supplier.
Okay.
But here's what I found out as it relates to this whole public benefit thing, is that if you have been using a supplier other than Eversource, you're getting charged more in the public benefits than people who used Eversource. So they told you, and we were encouraged to, you want
shop
to reduce
around
your bill, get a new supplier.
Yeah, shop
We
around.
did it, but they got us in the public benefits.
So
Isn't that nice?
That's insane. So this is exactly that story I was talking about in Brooklyn with the water company. They tell you to do this, and then you do it, and they're the ones who are encouraging you to do it. Hey, you want to save money? Here's an opportunity for you to do that. What they don't do is have you learn, or make sure that you don't learn, that because you did that, they're going to charge you more for leaving Eversource in that sense. You're almost being penalized for not using them.
You are absolutely being penalized, and they don't tell you that at all. So that's just pathetic in the way I look at the world. But let me go back to the basics of what we're really talking about
Yes,
here.
sir.
So I'm not happy with my 5 or 6 fold increase, and there are people that have been hit a lot harder with their increases. But I'm not a senior on a fixed income.
Right.
And I'm gonna fight this, and that's why I'm making a big stink about it. It's just wrong to everyone. But there are seniors on a fixed income, and I can tell you right now that this is the way that some of them are thinking. They're not listening to talk radio.
Right.
They're not watching the governor with his lies today, which I'm going to get into in a moment here. They are thinking that, oh my goodness, it was so hot, my bill went up so much. They know nothing about what we're talking about. In the next 2 or 3 months, they're going to start realizing that something is amiss.
Right.
Because they don't realize it yet. We can't make the assumption that they're on this the way that we are.
Right.
And what the governor said today, it was almost like watching a Joe Rogan comedy special because he started blaming the Republicans, yet anyone can go on the internet and find back in the months of March and April of this year, it was actually, and I applaud him because I always say the Republicans in this state, when they fight weak.
Right.
But when you look at the exact words used by Vince Candelora back in March and April, calling this outrageous, calling it wrong, he went right after it. So I'm sure that when he was doing that, he wasn't saying, okay, yeah, let's all agree to this in the back room.
Right.
Because he knew that this was unfair, that it was too much, and it was going to hurt a lot of the people who just can't afford to be hurt, that they can't even afford to buy food. Their rent's probably going up. We know what's going on with inflation, and I haven't even gotten into medication for seniors.
Right.
Yet this public benefit thing, we find out, and we still can't get that answer. Fazio wasn't able to address it yesterday about, what happens after 10 months, where they say, well, this is for 10 months. Well, what happens? Does it go down $5? Does it go down $1? Does it go down to what it used to be for the previous few years? We don't know that. And this whole thing that you've covered accurately, and I have to applaud Dave from Brantford, and there's a gentleman, I don't know his first name, he called Tom, he referred to himself as a chemist in Enfield. They nailed it when it comes to the absolute colossal failure of green energy initiatives in the billions of dollars that these Democrats and climate change people are putting through. And maybe now people will realize that a lot of it, money's fungible. They're moving money around.
Yes.
And they are defrauding the public.
That is the interesting.
Because if it was,
I was going to say, that was the interesting part about the article.
Business.
The article that I read today, another thing that I found out, especially and it alarmed me after my conversation with Ryan Fazio yesterday, was then to read an article this morning that said that they were, of course, and Fazio kind of confirmed it, but in essence, they were taking the money that they got from the public benefit charge, and they were legislating how to use that money for other stuff, which again defeats the purpose of charging people this money. If you're saying that the people of Connecticut will not willingly sign on to renewables and you're going to, on the sly, charge them for it, to only use that money on other stuff other than renewables, someone has got to be fired or removed from office or put in handcuffs, because that is everything about this is a stone cold lie. And the news media is almost complicit in it, because they didn't start talking about the fact that they were using this for green energy deals until you started talking about it and once it started coming up on this network, all of a sudden it was just, oh, it's helping everybody else who couldn't pay for it. And then we started to get into the weeds, and the news media start talking about other stuff and asking Eversource, hey, we heard that this is going to the state. And Eversource is like, yeah, we got nothing to do with that. That's the state. And then Lamont comes out and says, oh, it's not my fault. Knock it off, buddy. A year ago, you were about to change the entire dynamic of how we buy cars in the state, making sure that everyone had to buy an electric vehicle. And you're going to tell me that this thing is not your baby? That you don't have your dirty fingerprints all over this?
Of course. They're absolutely full of it. And I forget which one of the callers I mentioned just a little while ago brought this up, but this is something that is actually quite frightening. And I'll preface it by saying that a few months ago, I was in Arizona and we drove by a very, very large piece of land, far bigger than anything we have in Connecticut, windmill after windmill after windmill, and they weren't running at all. And we learned from the tour bus driver about how toxic all of these blades are. They are made from some of the most toxic things on earth.
Yeah.
So now we're putting that stuff in water. I mentioned the other day, it might have been Tom's show, about people were cutting their feet on the beach in Nantucket because the blades had broken off and there's sharp fiberglass. But the toxicity of this stuff. So when you say put people in handcuffs, I have no problem with that.
I think you have to.
I'm all for improving things related to green energy, but if you're going to start messing around with toxic chemicals that go in the water, that go in the fish, and you're not getting, you're putting people at risk, and you're not getting massive benefit where suddenly our electric bills are half of what they were and everyone's happy and the air's clean. If you're not doing that, you're a fraudster.
Exactly.
You deserve to be in handcuffs.
Yeah, that's my point.
It's not a mistake. It's not, what I'm saying here is it's not a simple mistake that people are making. It is a mistake that hurts people as human beings, hurts fish, hurts our ecosystem.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do it and you're going to propose it, you better make sure that it's 100% safe and it 100% will work. Other than that, I look at it as running a scam, running a grift, saying the right things for political expediency as individuals and groups. And I, for one, hope that a lot of other people are sick and tired of it as well.
You know what? Again, the crazy part that you're talking about here, especially with the windmills, right? When I found out that those windmills, when they all go bad, just like everything else, right? When they were no longer usable, right? They get old, they get rusted, whatever the case may be, and they can't be used. What do? They tear them down, but they put them in landfills. They don't even, they don't melt them. They don't reuse them. They just go into landfill. And they end up using up more space than just our regular garbage. You know, Michael A. was just saying, don't forget about the 500 gallons of oil that's in each and every one of those windmills, right? Because they're made with petroleum. So it's like, and many of them are oil or fossil fuel powered when there's no wind. Which again, I'm like, Ned knows this is all nonsense. This part, I think let me say this, Joe. Let me say this. It was bad enough when he was telling everybody that you needed to get an electric car, and he understood that that was unsustainable. But this Eversource thing, knowing that they're using Eversource in order to rob from the people in the state, and then have that money go into their coffers and not find a way for people to save money on energy. The whole idea of renewables is to save people money. And Ned Lamont can't run on that anymore. He can't run on the idea that we need to use renewables, that we need to get off of fossil fuels, and it is an energy, and not only energy saver, but it is a price saver. He can't run on that anymore. That's done.
You know, there's a listener, I'll bet that he's probably listening right now. And I had a conversation with him once where he and an engineer on his street, they live in a cul-de-sac, probably 8-10 houses at the most. And they did the mathematics to determine if every house on the street, and when I say every, we're talking 6, 8, 10 houses,
right,
had one electric vehicle. And we all know that the majority of houses have more than 2 vehicles, actually,
right. Yeah.
Especially if you have kids. That the electric grid in their town could not support one electric vehicle per house just on their cul-de-sac. Yeah, we have people saying, like Ned and the Democrats, everyone's got to go electric or we're going to stop selling them, and you got to buy this by 2035. Yet in a small cul-de-sac, it doesn't make mathematic or scientific sense
at all.
You got to ask yourself, what are they taking people for ignoramuses, or is this part of a bigger thing where they can make money for themselves and their friends, and they won't be around by then because in 11 years Ned's going to probably be in a wheelchair, and what does he care? The money's left to his heirs, and
I got to go to
I'm
a break.
tired of it.
That's, Joe,
Thank
thank you, Joe. I really appreciate the time. I got to go to the BPS Traffic Center with Andre Farrell. We'll back this up on the other end.
Hey there, yeah, it's Andre Farrow from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Let's go right out to the 91 ride where we do have some road work. It's in the northbound direction right around exit 33. We have stop and go traffic because of that. More delays as you continue to travel eastbound on 72 right before you get to Route 9 in New Britain. That is a crash knocking out a lane. And then the westbound side of 72 heading down towards 84. Looks like we have a crash there as well, making you way down towards Woodford Avenue. Now, if you're traveling southbound on 91, passing 291 and heading down past the golf course and approaching the Buckley Bridge, that is backed up as well. More delays as you continue on the southbound side of 91 through Rocky Hill. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Considerable fogginess the rest of today with a shower or two, a high in the mid-70s, turning quite humid tonight. Cloudy with a couple of showers, low 67. Mostly cloudy and humid tomorrow with some showers and thunderstorms from Tropical Rainstorm Debbie. Most numerous during the afternoon and at night. There is potential for flooding, even power outages and an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82, low tomorrow night 74. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva. Republican state lawmakers are calling for a special session of the General Assembly to address elevated electric bills. Senate Minority Leader Steve Harding says Republicans came forward with proposals to address the issue 6 months ago, but didn't get anywhere. Former President Trump says he hopes to debate Vice President Harris several times before the November election. Trump held a news conference at Mar-a-Lago today, where he said he agreed to 3 debates and chastised the Harris-Walz ticket. State Bond Commission has approved funding for the Aged Excel Center in downtown Hartford, $118 million earmarked by the commission after the CRDA approved a total $145 million renovation last month. Senate subcommittee chaired by Senator Richard Blumenthal heard from sexual harassment and assault survivors in the Coast Guard today. They testified following the release of a 50-page report this week. And searchers have found a body in a home destroyed by a tornado in North Carolina that was spun off from Tropical Storm Debbie. Death toll now up to 7 from that storm that first made landfall in Florida on Monday. Wall Street, the Dow finished up 683 points today. The Nasdaq gained 464, and the S&P was up 119. Red Sox idled tonight. They start a series with the Astros at Fenway tomorrow. We'll start things here with the pregame at 6:10. Angels and the Yankees will wrap up their 3 games set at the stadium tonight. Mets are in Colorado this afternoon. Eastern League, the Argoats in Richmond, and that's a 6:35 start time on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
After 30 years of doing knee and hip replacements, Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup thought there had to be a better way, and that led him to regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it.
Now, after 20 years of successful orthobiologic treatments, lots of clinical data, research, and teaching, Dr. Scheinkup is National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
They've done an amazing job of becoming the most significant orthobiologic and regenerative medicine practice in the United States. QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
So if you have chronic pain from arthritis and you want to avoid drugs and surgery, call the experts in this revolutionary field, QC Kinetics.
To give patients real lasting relief from pain, that's what I live for. That's my mission.
Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Feel like everything?
One minute.
I doubt. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080. It's Reese on the Radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Oh, we came in good on that one. It's Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. To the chat room we go. We'll take the phone calls. If you can get me a new list, Roland, I'm sorry. That one, I kind of botched that one.
Just Matt and Christine, that's all.
Okay, we'll get to them in a little bit. Rama in Massachusetts says there are many beaches in Massachusetts that are closed off due to high concentrations of bacteria. Wonder if these turbines play a factor. This is like that Stossel report about how much of our recyclables are not so recyclable. And that they're just doing this to feel good about ourselves. Yeah, the interesting part was, if you've ever seen it, Stossel's got a page on YouTube. And the show's just called Stossel. It's usually they're about 20-minute long vignettes, probably even shorter than that. And they're compelling. I loved John Stossel when I watched him back when I was a kid on 2020. But he's got this one about renewables, but he talks about plastics and what's really going on with the recyclable industry and plastics. And the big lie about plastics. They're just sending them out into Southeast Asia. And they're just piling them up and burning them in Southeast Asia. We're totally being duped. Tara P says Ned is complimenting Hearst Media on his X page. Scary, a politician is commenting on the media. That's right. No one is following up on the trees that need cut down. David D says Ned will have us wearing masks again. So those of us who are allergic to the BS will be safe. I like that one. Someone actually, Matt sent this to me. Menstrual product dispenser vandalized in Brookfield High School men's bathroom. This happened back in February, but I didn't know this because I guess no one's been reporting on it. But talk about Ned's political ambitions. I was the one who said it here first. I think Ned might be angling for a running mate position with Gavin Newsom in 2028. We'll try this story on for size. Starting in September of this year, a new state law will require public schools to provide free menstrual products in all gender bathrooms and at least one men's bathroom. I mean, come on. Really? I mean, either he's all in and then he's just going to leave politics, or he's just insane. I said this before. I'll say it again. It happens every time. And even Rudy loves to say it in Florida, right? Democrats get what they vote for. You give them a blank check by voting them in every time, which in essence just say they're going to double down on the insanity. Oh, you want more of this? What did I do last year? Did I tax you through the roof? Did I make sure CRT was in every classroom? Did I celebrate Black Lives Matter and all their BS all over the streets? Did you elected me again? You want more of that? Well, thank you. Classic. Of course he's going to double down on it. No one sees that as weird. They're the ones screaming and hollering about weird. No one sees that as weird, huh? Don't get it. Don't get it. Don't forget, 5 o'clock focus is coming up. Stand by. The 5 o'clock focus is coming up. But let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with our stand-in today, Andre Ferro.
Andre Ferro from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, eastbound on Route 72, approaching Route 9. We're still working on that crash, and there's a westbound crash on 72.
What are we losing? Commercials now? We getting in early?
Right by the southbound side of 84, which is
what?
I said, what are we doing? Losing commercials now? We're coming in early at the top.
We did clear up the crash.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. That's the earliest we ever went in at 4:33.
Eastbound 84.
Oh, okay, yeah.
4 to the heart of Hartford. Southbound 291 Passing 291 on the southbound side of 91, seeing big delays there. This report was sponsored
That's
by
a great
Joe the
question,
Plumber.
Mark.
For fast, friendly, and reliable plumbing services, visit calljoetheplumber.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
At Joe the Plumber, we know that toilets and sinks always pick the worst times to act up. That's why we promise fast, friendly, reliable service. The friendly part is about you, not the plumbing. We're going to get medieval on that. Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy the rest of today with a shower or two in the area and temperatures steady in the upper 60s towards 70. Cloudy tonight and increasingly humid with a couple of showers, low 67. Mostly cloudy, humid, and warmer tomorrow with a few showers and thunderstorms from tropical rainstorm Debbie. It's primarily for the afternoon and nighttime hours. Any shower and storm can be heavy that could result in flooding. There's potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms that can cause damaging winds, power outages, even an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82 and a low tomorrow night is 74. As Debbie pulls away, conditions will improve on Saturday. Clouds giving way to sunshine, breezy, turning less humid. High 85, partly sunny with low humidity Sunday. High 82. Right now it is 70 degrees in East Hartford and 67 in Windsor and 68 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HAYMOND and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Haymond is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HAYMOND.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell and Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Ground level storage containers, road trailers, or mobile offices. Don't get stressed, get Eagle. Just call Eagle Leasing at 1-800-GET-EAGLE or get a quote at eagleleasing.com. I'm Brandon Eagle. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
Facilities managers, it's time to think inside the box. Storage trailers and ground level storage containers from Eagle Leasing are the way to go. I'm Mike Eagle. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or visit us at eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
For eligible individuals,
Oh, a minute.
Varied see website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/
Here we go.
That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
It is your girl Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
An interesting thing I'm going to be doing for my birthday, August 15th. Well, my birthday is August 14th, but the day after, on the 15th, I'll be going to see my favorite hip-hop band, one of my favorite hip-hop bands from the 90s, The Far Side.
Hey.
No doubt, baby, The Far Side. You may remember their big hits, She Keeps On Passing Me By, Drop, Running. She Keeps On Passing Me By. You'll definitely remember that one. That was their biggest hit. But I love that group. It's one of my favorite groups. So they don't have Fat Lip in the group anymore, but Imani Booty Brown, yes, that's his name, and Slim Kid Trey will be they'll be performing live. So I'll be checking them out. I know I got some people on the phone on the phones. In fact, I'll get to them in a quick second. So still, please stand by, and I promise I'll grab you real quick. Matt said, "Ever notice that Connecticut's local media has never showed us pics and videos of recycling facilities in Connecticut?" And I immediately, before I got distracted, I was like, maybe I should look that up. I wonder if there's any videos of them. We should have them, shouldn't we? The thing I wanted to get into and sort of tease it at the 5 o'clock focus is this Eversource thing really has me thinking. And after talking to Joe in Simsbury, because I thought about this before the show, but talking to Joe in Simsbury, this is more than underhanded. This is more of sleight of hand. I think what's really being done to Connecticut is criminal. This is fleecing. This is theft. Every bit of it is. And somebody's got to be held accountable. And if there's a go-along to get-along society within Connecticut legislature, and Mark in West Hartford talks about it, and I know it's often talked about online that there's no real opposition in Connecticut. Everybody just sort of puffs out their chest about their position, but really everyone's in cahoots. The 5 o'clock focus makes a lot of sense for me today, and it should to you. So today, I want your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you when it comes to your chances of possibly leaving the state and going elsewhere? Like, has it become an enough is enough position in Connecticut? And again, look, as a radio host, I don't want you to leave. I need you to be here listening to me. But again, sometimes there's a bridge too far. Because this is, again, there are some people who will not be able to survive this. What's going on at Eversource? It's not a joke that there are people on fixed incomes who cannot afford this, as Joe was talking about. There are some people with fixed incomes who are not seniors who can't afford this. It doesn't pay to stay unless they're going to be outside on the streets right before it gets the coldest in New England. So that's why I ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? It's okay. It doesn't matter. Look, I'm giving you a wide berth here. 1 to 10, you can go 3, you can even go 5. Now, normally I don't give that kind of berth. I want a real, I really like the corners very, very tight. I usually do a 1 to 5, but I'm going to give a berth on this one. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least likely, 10 being the most likely to leave the state because it's gotten too much and find someplace else to go. Again, taking your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Let's get to Matt in Bristol. Hello, Matt. Matt.
Hello, Mr. Hopkins.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
And I know it's a little before 5, but the answer is 10. I'm definitely leaving.
Wow.
And like they say, the last one leaving Connecticut, turn out the lights.
Yeah, I hear you. Is it stories like this, or what was like the what do you call it, the last straw, I guess, for the best?
Oh, it's been like this for a while, and every year I tell myself, well, one more election cycle. I think people are waking up.
Yeah.
No, they never wake up. It's always the same. It's always the same over and over again. They complain about it, and then they vote the same people back in again.
Yeah, you can't do it alone. Let me ask you a follow-up, just as an aside. Do you have a place in mind? Or you're not there yet?
Yeah. No, I was thinking about...
Matt? I hear him there, but I think he moved or something.
He dropped off.
Oh, they drop off? Okay, damn, he was just about to tell. Craig J says 8, and I'll call with a great recent story. Yeah, Craig, please get on the line. I want to hear that. Yeah, bring it in around the 5 o'clock focus. I totally want to hear that. Let's go to Christine in Middletown. Now, Christine, you're running for office, so I'm assuming that you're somewhere at a 1.
No, I'm at a 10, Reese.
Are you serious?
Yes, Myrtle Beach, if we could afford it. And don't blame me. Sooner the better, yes.
Okay, but you called about something else. Go for it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I'll first, before I was at the press conference today, but before, Let me expand on the so-called tampon law
Right.
That's from grades 3 to 12 in our government public schools, and it's an unfunded mandate to the municipalities. So I talked to a school superintendent. They are scrambling to get janitors and plumbers ready in case something happens if these things go down the toilet.
Right, because eventually that's exactly what's going to be done. There are going to be pranks pulled. They're going to be used like, putting toilet paper in the toilet. Kids will be kids. The fact that they're doing it for third graders, that's worse than what Tim Walz is doing. He was at fourth grade. Lamont wants to do third grade?
It's insane and costing us money. And Joe brought up, is this 10 months, just 10 months, or is it going to go on?
Yeah.
That was not addressed by the media or anyone in the Connecticut Senate and House Republicans speaking. And the whole issue is that no one brought up the point that the Green New Deal, which only takes more green currency from our wallets,
right,
is the culprit. No one called for a return to fossil fuel.
Yeah, not one.
No. And that's the more disturbing trend.
It's so funny because you're right. Because Ryan Fazio, I saw his video on X when he was talking about this new bill he wanted to sign. But as I was listening to it, there were no, and I almost feel like maybe that sort of lends to what you're saying, is that everyone still wants to go down this sustainable route as opposed to saying, let's get back to fossil fuels, because not only is that cheaper, it's efficient, and the poorest and the most vulnerable in the state don't have to suffer. Even if we were to subsidize them, it would still be cheaper on everyone overall over the next 10 years.
And how about China? China is building more fossil fuel plants, and they are taking our green currency and saving theirs.
Yeah.
So they know how the Green New Deal is a scam, and it's just a money grab.
Yeah, and that's another part about this, is that Ned Lamont, and the fact that he will not hold a special session, or he's pushing back on a special session, shows that somebody got caught with their hand in a cookie jar. And when Ryan Fazio said that there was over hundreds of millions, close to $350 million sitting in their coffers, and they're using it for other things, that's why he doesn't want to address this, and he'll blame everybody else.
Pura has an office in Lamont. Is right next to Lamont's office.
Oh.
So that's telling us.
That's very telling. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate you. Let's go to Tim in Hamden. Haven't heard from him in a while. Tim, this has got to outrage you with the Eversource thing, doesn't it?
Well, of course, and it's a lot of it is the subsidies for nuclear power, which have never paid off whatsoever across the board. Just another huge earthquake in Japan, which has, already suffered nuclear power plants having to dump their things into the
radiation.
Ocean.
Yeah.
I called about. You had a caller say that that the windmills that they saw on a tour bus, that the quote tour bus driver said that they were made with toxic materials. I just spent about 10 minutes on the internet. I found no evidence whatsoever that basically windmills are plastic and polymers. I don't know what kind of weird thing.
Well,
how is
a plastic and polymer not toxic? It's oil, right? It's fossil.
Well, it's absolutely.
So that's not bad for the environment. That's what that's the reason why we're being told that we have to go to windmills and solar.
But if you think that it's like Trump, who
please don't make it about Trump, Tim. No, come on, please don't make it about Trump. Let's stay where we are. Wait. Let's stay where we are. We're having a good conversation. Don't make it about Trump. Dude, what we're being told.
I'm just talking about the fact that a lot of people.
No. Let's not go into a lot of people, Tim. Let's not get into a lot of people. Let's stay where you are, because you're in a very good place, and I want to have that discussion with you. This is a good call. Let's keep it that way.
All right. If anybody can find anything that.
Okay,
these are
but
some sort of
what we're being told is that fossil fuels are bad. That is, that, we know that, everyone knows.
We've had the record heat of all time and everything this last year on record all across the country.
I'm sorry. What's your point by mentioning that? What's your point by mentioning that?
Because we have a lot of people who deny that we have any type of global warming and all that.
Okay,
sort
that's
of
another
specific
discussion then.
code
I
to
don't
it.
want to get into there either.
That's a lot. Well, I'm just saying all of this stuff is part of an overall plan.
Okay,
by the
I
way, the
understand it,
Harris,
but you're telling me that,
Biden
hold on. We
produced-
should build more. Here's what I'm saying. We should build more polymer and oil-based products as a renewable energy, and we're not supposed to, and we're supposed to get off of fossil fuels?
First off, quick thing said that these materials can be recycled. I found that.
Wait, you found out that you found out that windmills can be recycled? Where'd you find that? Where are they recycled?
It's on. I don't have it in front of me right now.
Please watch the Stossel. I will. You know what, Tim? I will go on Facebook. I'm going to text you.
Oh my God!
I'm going to text you the Stossel's report because he actually shows the video of what they do with what they do with the windmills, so you can see it for yourself. Okay?
How current is that?
Oh no, very current. And I will send it to you so you can watch it yourself. Don't poo-poo it, Tim. Here we're having an exchange of ideas. And I'm literally giving you an opportunity to have that exchange with me, and you're poo-pooing it before you've even seen it. We have a saying, all right? Contempt prior to investigation. Give yourself the opportunity to view it and then poo-poo it after the fact, like a true prosecutor should.
If you could get somebody on your show who's not a random caller.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to even do that. A person who's a random caller. Hold on. A person who's a random caller. You can't immediately decide that person's not credible because you don't agree with them. You've refused to even take even my offer of me sending you the video so you can at least gather the information.
I would be glad to do that.
Thank you.
But I'm saying this is a product that can be put out for at least 20 years is the average lifespan. This is not something
what if that's
disintegrates into the ocean in like a year or two.
Tim, let me say this to you. Let's you and I go back. I'm going to listen. Have you ever seen that movie produced by Michael Moore called Planet of the Humans? Have you watched that film?
You've mentioned it many times.
Have you seen it?
Like that.
Have you seen it?
I'm just saying that we need.
Have you seen it?
We need people in state government who will get in and take this, away.
Okay, Tim, I'm just asking you the question. Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
Let Eversource and, the former Republican famous claritist married to that person. The Republicans voted for this bill just as much as the Democrats.
I'm well aware of that part. So I'm not making this a partisan issue, Tim. I'm asking you a question. You know that I mention Planet of the Humans often, and the movie is for free on YouTube. Have you seen it, sir?
Okay, so I will watch that again. It will be the third time that I've seen that and stuff. So basically,
have you seen it?
It's the ability to give these things, a chance.
But have you seen the film, Tim? Did you see this film or not?
So you just, you do this all the time. You just
because you won't answer my simple question. And I would shut up if you just said yes or no.
You don't want to talk about renewable energy. You're going to cut me off?
No. I'm saying, Tim, I would shut up and let you finish if you just answer my simple question. It's a yes or no. It takes a quick answer. Have you seen the film? Yes or no?
I told you already for the third time. Yes, I have seen it. I will watch it again if you want me to.
And then you and I will go back and forth today. So. If you watch it today, text me on Facebook and say, "Hey Reese, I watched it," and you and I go over it, and then we'll go toe to toe on asking each other questions about what you learned from that. Okay?
And I will leave you with this. I am not a fan of Biden and Harris, but they actually producing more oil than was produced by
and selling it to China.
I can't mention his name.
And selling it to China.
Mention that.
And selling it to China. They're selling our reserves. They're selling our reserves to China.
There.
Yeah. Tim, it's okay, buddy. Listen again. I love you anyway. It's my pleasure. I'm sorry, guys. This was much better than we've done in the past. Okay, give me credit. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Andre Farrow.
Andre Farrow from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Still have some road work out there. Northbound side of 91, heading up towards exit 33. That's going to slow your ride down a little more. Now, if you're traveling on the westbound side of 84, right by exit 33, that crash is still out there. And we're still working on this crash. It's on the shoulder now on the eastbound side of 72, right by Route 9, heading towards New Britain. Still seeing big volume across the Buckley Bridge in both directions. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk, 1080.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Save with summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get the tools and parts you need for your next brake job with Brake Best Select. Select Pro and Import Direct brake pads and rotors now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy the rest of this afternoon with a couple of showers around. A high temperature in the mid-70s. Tonight, cloudy and increasingly humid with a couple of showers at a low of 67. Mostly cloudy, humid, and warmer tomorrow with some showers and thunderstorms as tropical rainstorm Debbie moves north. The showers and storms will be most numerous during the afternoon and at night. There's potential for flooding, power outages, and even an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82 and a low tomorrow night is 74. Improving weather this weekend. Lingering flooding is possible Saturday from the rains that have already fallen, but clouds will give way to sunshine. It'll become breezy and less humid Saturday with a high of 85. Some sunshine and a few clouds on Sunday with low humidity. All in all, a nice end to the weekend. And Sunday's high at 82. We do anticipate pleasant weather as we head into the first part of next week. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 5 o'clock, Hartford temperature 67 degrees. Good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News, with constituents complaining about rising electric bills. State Republican lawmakers are calling for a special session to address the issue. Senate Minority Leader Steve Harding says those rates are just too much.
We're done arguing over who's to blame. We really don't care at this point. We care about reducing our neighbors' energy rates. That's why we're here today. We have proposals. We believe they can do that in the immediacy and in the long term. And we're calling on the governor, let's get us into special session. Let's get it done. Let's reduce these energy rates.
One of their plans would address the public utilities benefit charge on the bill, moving what they call a hidden tax off the bill and into the state budget. Governor Lamont says most of that charge goes back to a bipartisan deal to keep the Millstone nuclear plant open.
That was following the lead of the legislature, led by the Republicans, who said it's very important we keep Millstone going. It's a big source of our baseload power and a big source of our carbon-free power. So I think it was the right thing to do. We kept that going. That's 78% of that so-called public benefits charge.
Lamont says he would consider a special session if Republicans were proposing, quote, real things that would make a difference. His office says everyone should focus on conservation efforts. 5 current and former members of the U.S. Coast Guard testified before a Senate subcommittee today in New London, chaired by Senator Richard Blumenthal. They were on hand to tell their stories about being sexual assault and harassment survivors during their time in the branch. A report out this week listed dozens who said their allegations were either swept under the rug or they were retaliated against for making them in the first place. Former Seaman Megan Clement says she was assaulted and harassed repeatedly.
I met the man who would continue to assault me and harass me over the course of the next 4 months. My second day there, also days after I married my husband. He was more than twice my age and a retired senior chief contracted to the base. He was a very well-liked man by the command.
Blumenthal says the Coast Guard and Academy need to be held accountable and must improve transparency to prevent future incidents. Former President Trump says he's agreed to hold 3 debates with Vice President Harris in the run-up to the November election. He also criticized her selection of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to be her running mate during a Mar-a-Lago news conference this afternoon.
Kamala's record is horrible. She's a radical left person at a level that nobody's seen. She picked a radical left man.
Trump says Walz was responsible for riots that broke out in his state following the murder of George Floyd. It's getting weaker, but Tropical Storm Debbie is still causing problems along the East Coast. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper.
North Carolina continues to face unrelenting rain and destruction.
CBS meteorologist David Parkinson with an update.
This is a tornado watch that goes into portions of the Tidewater of Virginia and Hampton Roads area, as well as into northeastern North Carolina. We've already seen several tornadoes today, and we'll likely see more as the day goes on.
Beginning August 18th, lasting through the 24th, most clothing items costing $100 or less per item, generally for the state's sales tax weeks, since some items will not. The Department of Revenue Services Commissioner Mark Boughton will explain how you can check.
It's really geared towards school, kids, sneakers,
Yeah.
Jackets, shirts, and pants and so forth.
Just had a bumbly, I guess.
Yeah, that was a lot.
You could just go to our website at ct.gov. The DRS website will have a list there and let you know what's included.
He says the state takes roughly a $6 million tax loss during that week. And now this report from the Summer Games, sponsored by Middlesex Health, a smarter choice for care.
CBS Summer Games. Here's Wendy Gillette.
Noah Lyles didn't get the finish he wanted in the 200-meter after
U.S. men almost lost.
by 5,000ths of a second.
What, in basketball?
Yeah.
Stop it. Against whom? Group of just 10
Serbia.
It's Serbia. Of course it was Serbia.
The U.S. men's basketball team is facing Serbia in the semifinal. It's the two teams' third meeting in just over 3 weeks.
That's why they played them. They overlooked them. They're like, we blew them out twice. Yep. We going to this goal game, and then all of a sudden they was down 6
Tonight,
to 4.
battle home favorite France in Saturday's final after its 73-69
Came back and won by 4.
Wow.
which had fans yelling and celebrating in the streets. The U.S. women's volleyball team is through to the final after a bruising 5.
Curry is their savior, dog.
Team USA is
He hit 10 threes.
which gave the Americans Olympic gold for the first time. In speed climbing, Sam Watson had to settle for the bronze, but set a new world record in the small final. I'm Wendy Gillette at the Summer Games in Paris, CBS News.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
WTIC News Time 5:05 on Wall Street. The Dow was up 683 points. The NASDAQ gained 464, and the S&P was up 119 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
This is the story.
Come on, minute.
As a
And you coming right in.
You got things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Granger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
And what could be better than two of your favorites for $3.99?
And
McChicken or 6-piece McNugget. So stop in for twice the delicious. The price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. 5 o'clock focus coming up soon with your phone calls as well. After the BPS traffic. Michael Niner Jordan is in the house in the chat room and said, "Don't make me tell Jay King on your behavior." Tell Jay King I said he knows what he could eat. That's just how I get down. And I don't care who you tell. So we'll get into that. The question on the 5 o'clock focus is, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you when it comes to leaving the state? Like I said, I don't want you to go. I want you to stay. I mean, I need you here. But has it gotten that bad? Where are you? Where are you on leaving the state on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you at 5, 6, all the way to 10 like Matt in Bristol? We got him back on the line. We'll find out. And do you have a planned state or place to go to? You can answer that on the backup. We'll get to your calls, 860-522-WTIC. For now, let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Andre Farrow.
Andre Farrow from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Let's go to the westbound side of 84, right by exit 33. The left lane remains blocked. That's causing a big delay all the way back to Route 6. Now, if you're traveling on the eastbound side of 72, the crash is on the shoulder now over by exit 9, but it is still causing delays as people take a peek going by. Some road work is going to slow you down the northbound side of 91. This is over by exit 33, so that's going to be a little slower than usual. And we're still very busy across the Buckley Bridge in both directions. And southbound delays on 91 into New Haven, heading down towards Route 1. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
And a couple of showers and a low in the mid-60s. Cloudy, humid weather tomorrow and turning warmer. A few showers and thunderstorms from tropical rainstorm Debbie. It'll be most numerous in the afternoon and at night. Any of these could bring a drenching downpour that could lead to flash flooding. There's potential for a severe storm that could cause power outages and an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82 and a low tomorrow night is 74. The weather gets better this weekend. Could still be some residual flooding early Saturday morning, but the rain will have ended. Clouds giving way to sunshine on Saturday. Breezy, becoming less humid, high 85. Partly sunny, nice low humidity Sunday, high 82. It's now 67 in Manchester. It's 65 degrees in Bristol and 68 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
A devastating fire roars through your business. Would you be back up and running in less than 24 hours?
I guess when I realized how bad the fire was, I called Tab.
That's Ben DeVivo with Willimantic Waste Paper Company. They recycle anything from paper to mattresses.
Right away, I got their after-hours service, and within minutes, one of the technicians called me back. He logged into our server, saw that it was offline. The technician and the head of operations actually came on site to see what they could do. We talked about if we were able to get into the building, what we could recover. We got our server out. We went to a remote location. Tab set that up. They worked tirelessly throughout the night, and they got us up and going for the next morning.
Tab Computer Systems got Ben's fire-ravaged business back up and running in less than 24 hours.
It was amazing. I was impressed.
Trust Tab's nearly 4 decades of experience to get your office network running and keep it running. Call 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, 1-888-TAB, the numeral 4, H-E-L-P, or visit tabinc.com. Technology's advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They
1 minute.
Aired, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man. We are back.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
And we're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Our last hour in. Mark in West Hartford said for me to ask you, Roland, if Andre Farrow, no, their names are spelled different. Farrow, not Farrow, unfortunately. Mark in West Hartford, no, they're not related. They do sound a little bit alike. You're 100% right. But I can bet you, bar none, that Andre Farrow is funnier than Jay Farrow. And I don't even know Andre Farrow because Jay Farrow is corny as they get.
He's the funniest dude ever, man.
No, he's not. Listen, I'll put it to you this way. If he is living off Jay-Z impersonations on Saturday Night Live, he is living in a one-room flat in Skid Row. That's.
Let me tell you this. Oh, real quick. You said Double Nick. First of all, Double Nickel is one of my favorite numbers to bingo on.
Okay.
When I go to bingo, I take my mom to bingo sometimes.
Okay.
Also, you're born in August. We could very well be related, man.
You and me?
My mom's side is most of them all are born in August, from my grandmother to my mother to my aunt to cousins. And believe it or not, their last name is, what do you think?
Hopkins.
Augustine.
Oh, Augustine. Oh, that's crazy.
They all born in August, last name Augustine.
Oh, that's creepy. That is creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, if they're from Pitt County, North Carolina, that's
I'm pretty sure I just said that to
Oh,
make
okay.
jokes,
No,
but you probably related to my wife's people.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
They're Hopkins from North Carolina.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Pitt County. That's all my family. When they arrived here, on the yachts, the Love Boat and Carnival Cruise.
Yeah,
back in the 1800s.
that's what we're calling it now.
Yeah.
All right.
So when they got here on Carnival Cruise, they all ended up in North Carolina.
Barry Hopkins, you know him, Barry Hopkins.
Oh, I don't know. That's an interesting. I don't know. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Matt is back on the line. What's going on, Matt? Matt is back in Bristol. You were just about to say where you had your sights set on leaving Connecticut for. Where are you going?
Hey, Mr. Hopkins. I thought we were friends, but you hung up on me.
I did not. Okay, but you were about to say where you set your sights on. You said you're at a 10 on leaving the Nutmeg State. Where were you setting your sights? If you could go tomorrow, where would it be?
Well, the best place I found so far was South Carolina. Like, I think it was Christine that called with
Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
I was down there for a while, and I liked that a lot. But, Arizona.
You really? That's heat?
Beach, Florida. Yeah. What?
You would go for that heat in Arizona?
Hey, I will go for red heat above blue cold any day.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking, I'm just like, when I used to smoke, of course, I'd smoked for over 30 years of my life. I was going to the Democratic National Convention out of Boston. I flew out of Boston, and we had to take a connector flight to, I think we stopped in Denver going, but I had to go to Arizona coming back. And I stopped off in Arizona and I had enough time to go downstairs and smoke a cigarette. When I got downstairs in Arizona, it was not only that, it's like August 22nd. I'm almost positive of it because I was there for my birthday. I get there and just on the little, what do you call it? The departures section of the airport, which by the way was covered, like most airports had a covered departure area. Arrival area. It was a covered arrival area because departures is upstairs always. I was underneath it. When I got out there and I felt the heat in Arizona, I was like, literally, I went outside. I was like, I can't believe I'm smoking in this. I was like, what? I can't breathe in this.
You'd be surprised what you can get used to. But, hey, I got two quick things. One, a quick one. The only one I know is Mark from West Hartford. He's a pit bull. He could go after something like that.
Oh, yeah.
For a FOIA request, Governor Lamont keeps talking about conservation. I would love someone to put in a FOIA request and find out how much energy the governor's mansion is using. And he's the guy that would actually get it done.
You heard, I think you have your mandate, Mark, in West Hartford. He's checking it out. He's listening right now. That, you know what? And everyone should know exactly how much energy he's using, considering how much he scolded everybody else about their energy use. And we can get that. I think we can. What was the second thing?
The second thing is your idea about Walz, about him dropping out before the convention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the only problem I have with your theory. Okay. I was buying into the theory that Walz was kind of a supplant to tank her candidacy.
Right.
So why would they let her drop him if the whole point of him being there is to supplant her candidacy? And I just wanted you to square that circle for me.
Not a problem. In order to square that circle, it's this way. One, you set it up by saying that this is Kamala Harris's choice to choose Walz. He turns out to be a horrible candidate. They've got to excise him, remove him as a candidate, look for somebody else. Either she goes into the convention or she leaves the convention with her campaign in disarray. You expose that Kamala Harris can't run a team, can't make good decisions. Therefore, she's sunk in the court of public opinion.
But then what was the point of putting him in to begin with if they knew
the
this
objective,
was all
like I said, the objective was whatever happens, happens. The torpedoing happens just by putting him in the first place. No one wants her. As far as the Democrat apparatus is concerned, that's Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. They don't want her in there, but they've got, remember, DEI backed them into a corner to force their hand on having her there because they were worried about losing the black vote. They know that no one is going, listen, if she implodes on her own, the voters are the ones who make a decision. Everyone's hands are clean. You can't blame Obama. I endorsed her. You can't blame Pelosi and Schumer. We endorsed her. But look at what she did. Look at how she handled her campaign. She's a mess. We tried everything we could to help her, but she's just an abject failure. And then, ipso facto, it's over.
Well, makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Let's go to Pete in East Hartford. Hello, Pete. You're on with Reese On The Radio.
Hey, what's up?
How we doing, sir? So where are you? I mean, do you want to answer this question on the scale of 1 to 10?
No, I don't want to answer that question.
Okay.
I've been waiting so long that I forgot what I was going to talk about. I don't know. Have you got? What are you? Are you filtering and taking just certain people, or are you taking them in line here? Because I waited so long.
Pete,
are you that popular?
I guess I am. I don't know. I don't want to speak to that.
He hasn't even been waiting the longest.
That's okay.
19
but
minutes.
Pete, did you have a question that you could remember?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to react to that interesting caller, that the guy with the voice that it's worse. I'd rather listen to 3.5 hours of somebody running their nails across a chalkboard than listen to Tim's voice. And
okay.
Justin, right. I don't know. Is that artificial intelligence or unintelligent voice? Because no way is that voice real.
Why are you?
But anyhow,
go ahead. Sorry. Go on.
What he spews is unbelievable. I'm listening. I'm saying, oh, my God, God must be punishing me. Or else God has granted me an opportunity to put me behind Tim. Okay. Anyhow, I was watching the clock, and I'm like, okay, how long is it going to take Tim to
articulate his point of view?
No. To blame it on Trump.
Oh, yeah, that didn't take long. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, and again, I'm trying to steer the conversation in a good place that's just based on the subject matter. And no matter where you go, it's got to go to Trump. I don't know why.
I believe in letting everybody have their opinion. It's fine. This is America. That's why I'm a Trump guy. Yeah. But here's the thing. Okay, his reasoning behind any opinion is, oh, I read it on the internet. Well, guess what else? I read on the internet? I read on the internet that Trump was the best president of all time. I also read on the internet that Harris is smarter than Albert Einstein. Okay? So forget this internet thing, okay?
I thought that was a weak argument, too.
You can find anything you want. You can find anything you want on the internet. So, Tim, come on. Come up with some real reasoning and use your brain, okay? Let's go back to Eversource.
Yes.
Now, you know what they're doing? You know how you mentioned the senior citizens are, it's going to kill them because they're on fixed income?
Yes, sir.
But they're nobody's mentioned this yet, but they found a way to control people on low income, such as the senior citizens.
You mean, are you talking about their power consumption?
No.
I'm losing you.
They have a program that you can pay 50%.
Oh, right. My wife, that's right.
If you qualify.
Right. My wife was talking to me about that because we were looking at other bills across the country, and one bill that we looked at showed that there was a sort of payment plan that you could sign up for in a lot of these organizations. Like they didn't hold you out for the whole bill.
But here's the thing, Reese. I mean, I qualify for that,
right?
Okay, but I don't want to pay 50%. I want to pay a regular price at a reasonable rate.
Right.
Just think about it. who's paying for that other 50% that I'm not paying?
Exactly.
You know, they've got all these programs. Again, this is socialism.
Yep.
Okay, this is what they're doing is they're controlling us.
The interesting part, though,
listen to what I'm saying. Tim, listen to what I'm saying here.
Pete, there's another part about that. There's another part about that public benefit charge that I find alarming, because we haven't gotten that breakdown yet either. Because if indeed there is a subsidy in that charge, right? We know they're going to 3 different programs: the systems benefits charge, the conservation and load management, and the renewable charge, and then of course subsidizing other people who can't afford their bill. The question is that we don't have a breakdown of how much of that is to subsidize other bills. But whatever it is, I can damn well bet it's less than 30% of the public benefit charge. So if that's the case, maybe, and I believe this, that it's all sort of bubbled in, and the real rub is that they're calling it the public benefit charge because, it's the sleight of hand in its wording to say, no, we're doing it for the public, while the other stuff is the boondoggle. That's where the other money is going into their coffers so they can fund other nonsense. That's
right.
the
Now,
part I want to know.
Just getting back to this, they're giving it to me half price. So basically what they've done is they've swept me into their socialism net. Now I'm dependent on the government.
That's right.
Think about it.
That's right.
Now half my bill is being paid by the government.
100% right.
I'm participating in socialism right now.
Yeah. And I think, go ahead, real quick.
One last thing. Remember the last time the big protest with the big income tax thing at the Capitol?
Yeah.
Well, it's time to organize a protest about these rates, and maybe not just in front of the Capitol. How about going to the Berlin Turnpike? Isn't that their main office there?
Yeah, that's
How about
right.
let's organize a big protest, maybe 2 of them. Come on, people, wake up. Tim, be our leader, Tim. Tim, I read on the internet, Tim, that a protest can go a long way.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pete. I really appreciate all of that. That was actually really, really good. That's a good call. I totally appreciate that. All right, Rick and Zach, you guys hold on for me. We're going to get into more of this on the back end of the break. Again, 5 o'clock focus. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you with everything that you've seen happening? Now we've got tampons in 3rd grader bathrooms. The EverSource issue, policies, the taxation, all of it. Where are you? Are you at a scale of 1 to 10 on whether or not you want to leave the state? And as a bonus question, do you have your sights on another state or someplace else? We'll take your phone calls on that, 860-522-WTIC. Michael Niner Joyner is in the chat room, and I want to read what he wrote here. And again, this is, as far as Smirkanish, Mike Smirkanish on CNN called low information voters in the black community. Let me give you an example of that. Michael Niner Jordan says, that woman hasn't failed yet until Donald Trump beats her, which I highly doubt. J.D. Vance was a very bad pick for this VP. I take it. Knowing Donald Trump, Barron Trump will be the next pick for BP on foreign affairs. I keep wondering, deep down inside, really, really deep down inside, how these people retain any of the nonsense that they retain. Really? She hasn't failed anything yet? She has an approval rating as a vice president that's lower than Dick Cheney and Dan Quayle. Hasn't failed anything yet? She failed the bar. Oh, notwithstanding, let's forget about the fact that the California bar exam is really, really difficult, but she failed it. And from what I understand, twice? Hasn't failed anything. Her entire campaign is a failure. Her Senate and vice presidency has been an abject failure. Have you not been to the supermarket? How about the border, where she was the border czar? Was she a success there? She was so bad there, they're trying to scrub articles that call her the border czar. So there's no remnants of it. Not a failure. Okay. It's incredible what these people will suck up and just regurgitate. It's quite sad. Mike Smirkanish, there you go, low information voter. That's how that works. See? Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Andre Ferro.
Andre Ferro from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center, still working on a crash.
I think Andre likes his name.
Turnpike, right around
Ian Stark, too.
Yes, Ian Stark, yeah.
More delays on the southbound side of 95 through New Haven, exit 43. Eastbound 84 approaching exit 44 remains very busy, very slow across the Buckley Bridge. Eastbound delays on Route 3 approaching Route 2, and the southbound side of 91 coming down from 291, seeing lots of action. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk, 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy the rest of this afternoon with a couple of showers around. A high temperature in the mid-70s. Tonight, cloudy and increasingly humid with a couple of showers at a low of 67. Mostly cloudy, humid, and warmer tomorrow with some showers and thunderstorms as tropical rainstorm Debbie moves north. The showers and storms will be most numerous during the afternoon and at night. There's potential for flooding, power outages, and even an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82 and a low tomorrow night is 74. Improving weather this weekend. Lingering flooding is possible Saturday from the rains that have already fallen, but clouds will give way to sunshine. It'll become breezy and less humid Saturday with a high of 85. Some sunshine and a few clouds on Sunday with low humidity. All in all, a nice end to the weekend. And Sunday's high at 82. We do anticipate pleasant weather as we head into the first part of next week. This is meteorologist Bob Larson at the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, I'm Brian Kilmeade. I am so excited to be on WTIC right here in Hartford, Connecticut. I'll be bringing all the breaking news with perspective. Give you an idea what's happening, not only the election, but beyond, the things that matter to you on a daily basis. I promise to bring you the best guests, the most insight, and the most prepared. Fresh off Fox and Friends, I come up to do the Brian Kilmeade Show here on Fox News. Make sure you join me on WTIC. Hello, Connecticut. I hope I never have to say goodbye.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, 67 degrees, cloudy skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva. State legislative Republicans want Governor Lamont to call a special session. This in light of skyrocketing Eversource bills customers have received in recent weeks. Reason given, including the public benefits portion of the bill and the utility having to make up for revenue lost during the COVID moratorium when shutoffs were prevented. Governor Lamont says he's not sure a special session would make an immediate impact. State bond commission's given the go-ahead to use $118 million to renovate the aged XL Center. The improvements were already approved by the CRDA. They will include, among other things, more luxury suites and better seating to help attract big-name entertainment. 2 men shot in Hartford overnight. Police say they were processing a scene on Orange Street around 10:45 last night when they received word that one man arrived at Hartford Hospital and another was taken to St. Francis.
We believe in the collective.
Both victims now listed in stable condition. There was a hearing in New London today following the release of a federal report this week calling on the U.S. Coast Guard to end a culture of cover-up when it comes to sexual assault and harassment. 5 whistleblowers testified that they were discouraged from reporting what happened to them and intimidated when they did. Searchers have found a body in a home that was destroyed by a tornado in North Carolina. That twister spawned by Tropical Storm Debbie. Back here, Eversource getting things prepared just in case with the storm expected to move close by late tomorrow into Saturday. Former President Trump held a news conference at his Florida beachside compound today. He says that he's eager to debate Vice President Harris and has agreed to do 3 debates before the November election. On Wall Street, the markets finished up today. The Dow was up 683 points, the NASDAQ gained 464, and the S&P was up 119. Red Sox idle tonight. They start a series at Fenway tomorrow against the Astros. We will have the game here, starting with the pregame, 6:10 here on TIC. Yanks finish their series at the stadium against the Angels. The Mets are in Colorado this afternoon. Eastern League, Yard Goats take on Richmond, 6:35 on the Odyssey app. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com. Code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com. Code BETTER to save 15% today.
What if I told you
1 minute.
already past their prime? It's true. The magnetic tape used in VHS and camcorder tapes only lasts between 10 to 20 years, which means your baby's first steps, weddings, and family vacations are fading away as we speak.
Rick and
Digitizing your
Zach,
old
right?
media with legacy
Yeah, and a couple more.
Oh,
fading process in its tracks. And by preserving your recordings, they're safe forever. Legacy Box is simply the best way to preserve your past, which is why they've been trusted by over 1 million families. Your memories are meant to be shared, not chewed up by the VCR or worn away with time. For a limited time, you can convert your tapes to digital for just $9 a tape. There's never been a better time to convert your entire collection. That includes film reels and photos too. Visit legacybox.com/value to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/value to unlock our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/value.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
It's the 5 o'clock focus.
I'm focused, man.
We are back. News Talk 1080 WTIC. Don't forget, folks, you can always join Reese on Radio in the chat room by going to reeseontheradio.com. As long as I'm here, I'll be here for you. We'll, talk about anything, the events of the day, local stuff. Of course, stuff happening around the country. It's interesting to me that the palace intrigue, the national stories, they're the ones that a lot of people in the talk show game talk about. I like the local stuff too, don't get me wrong, and I love the national stuff because I'm sort of a creature of that world, and I don't know why, but I love Washington. God, I love Washington. Not to live. I think it's dirty and smells bad, but I love what happens in Washington. That's my thing. It's a blood sport, and that's just it's my jam, as the kids say. It's my jammy jam. And folks, you have to pay attention to me. There are people who are reluctant, and I get it. It isn't even about me. It's not about me. It's about not admitting that I might know what I'm talking about. That is a fate worse than death for a lot of people on the left. To admit that I knew what I was talking about it's harmful. It's almost it would be like Harry Carey to a lot of these people. If you really need to understand Kamala Harris and why everyone knows Barack Obama, who was called a socialist and a Marxist, okay? He's been called all those things. He had to steer clear of it. The Democrat Party has always been associated with socialism, but they never, ever will stand on all 10 toes on socialism. They do not believe in communism, they say. They say that Kamala Harris is down the middle. They say that Tim Walz is down the middle. But the first rule of communism, the first rule of totalitarianism is the collective. It's the Borg. Do you know what the Borg is? Resistance is futile. We all have the same goals. We're part of the collective. And Kamala Harris said this today.
We believe in the collective. We're not falling for these folks who are trying to divide us, trying to separate us, trying to pull us apart. That's not where the strength lies.
We're part of the collective. There is no individualism. These are Marxist ideologies. No person in the Democrat Party ever says that out loud, even if it's true. Mark my words. It's the reason why they got rid of Bernie Sanders, because he is a collectivist. Keep doubting me. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Andre Farrell.
Andre Farrow from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Huge delays on the southbound side of the Wilbercross Parkway, passing Route 40 in Hamden. More delays on the southbound side of the Connecticut Turnpike, exit 43 through New Haven. And if you're traveling southbound 95 Connecticut Turnpike in East Lyme over by exit 73, we're still working on a bad crash there. Heading across the Buckley Bridge and still dealing with big volume. Eastbound 84, you start tapping the brakes right around exit 44. Southbound delays continue on 91, heading down towards Route 5. And traveling on the eastbound side of Route 3, heading towards Route 2, heading towards Addison. Lots of volume there. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Cloudy tonight, turning quite humid. Couple of showers, temperature steady in the mid-60s. Cloudy, humid weather tomorrow, warmer than today, with a couple of showers and thunderstorms from tropical rainstorm Debbie. They'll be most widespread in the afternoon and at night. Any shower or storm can bring a flooding downpour. There's potential for a severe storm that could lead to power outages and an isolated tornado. High tomorrow 82 and a low tomorrow night of 74. The rain should be over by Saturday. It'd still be residual flooding on Saturday from the rains that have fallen. But clouds give way to sunshine, breezy, becoming less humid Saturday, high 85. Nice low humidity Sunday, partly sunny, high 82. It is now 67 degrees in Torrington. It's 65 degrees in Walcott and 68 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Shop summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts and get 2 cans of O'Reilly brake cleaner for just $8. Offer valid in store only. The professional parts people can recommend the right brake parts and supplies for your next brake job at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Start your day with all the latest sports information. Matt Soroyce has updates from the Cordell & Cordell Sports Desk at 15 and 45 past every hour. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, this is Mike. And at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet Arch Support System.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. And maybe that's the reason all those remedies you tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy. You're going to feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me. And good movement starts with the feet.
Come in today. We're located in Avon at 25 Climax Road across from Whole Foods. Good Feet Arch Supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
Space. Oh, minute. Frontier, but it's also what a lot of us lack in our basement or garage. By switching to a Navien tankless water heater, not only will you have all the hot water you need whenever you need it, but you'll gain storage area as well. Maybe a place to display your space collectibles. Highly logical. Learn about Navien's series of high-efficiency tankless water heaters and how they don't just save space, but save dollars on your utility bills too. For more, go to tanklessmadesimple.com.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we're back. It's Reese on You're so excited about this beat.
That drum pattern and do right on time for you to come in.
Yeah, you're so proud of yourself. Rolling, ladies and gentlemen, with the beats. I am Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. Oh, man, it's a pleasure to be here, folks, and I know we're about to wind it up, but we got your phone calls. I said during the 5 o'clock focus, on a scale of 1 to 10, Where are you with leaving the state? And do you have your sights on anywhere in the country? If you could. If you could pack it up right now, if you could take your job, like a lot of people are doing it now, they can, sort of remote work. You can work anywhere you want. What's on the docket? Who do we have? Zach is in Lynchfield. Do we still have him? Zach, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Reese.
Hey, how are you? How are you, sir? Did you want to chime in on this one on the 5 o'clock focus?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'd say out of a 10, I'm probably a 50 for getting out of the state of Connecticut. As soon as I'm able to, I will be out of here.
A 50? Jeez. Okay. Well, what was the what do you call it? What was the I guess the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, what was the linchpin?
Watching the transition of everybody since COVID, everything's kind of gotten worse. We used to have some advantages, over the city. It was a little bit cheaper. There was less people.
Yeah.
And now it seems it's more expensive and there's more people.
Interesting. Oh, okay. I totally get. I mean, I get it. Do you have a place in sight? That I didn't ask you. I wanted to follow up. Yes. Did you have a place that you were
Florida,
considering?
where everybody else is going.
Everybody's going to Florida. Okay. I guess, yeah, the freedoms there are plentiful. I mean, I guess DeSantis has done a great job. Other people say there's some places that there's a considerable amount of crime. And I think, it's either Tampa or Orlando. And Miami, of course, because that, cesspool. That's another story.
I'd say all the big cities in Florida, Jacksonville, Tallahassee,
exactly.
They all have pretty good crime problems.
Yeah.
But at least in Florida, you're allowed to protect yourself.
Hey, you know what? That, my friend, is a plus. We applaud that. Thank you, Zach. Thank you for holding on. Let's go to Denise in Heartland. Hello, Denise. You're on with Reese on the Radio. Do you have a scale of 1 to 10 where you are?
Well, I'm close to 80, and
Wow.
it's just a little late for me.
Okay.
But I would love to leave the state. But I'm calling. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener,
Yes, ma'am.
and I live in an all-electric house with the exception of my hot water.
Okay.
And I empathize with people who are complaining about their 2 or 3 month air conditioning bill. I'd be happy to trade their bills for mine, the 8 months of fall and winter. I keep my home. I keep my house at 60 degrees. It's not like I'm.
Let me ask you this, Denise. If you would be so kind, if you don't want to, I understand. What would you say your average bill is each month? Like where you swinging around?
Well, it depends. In a mild winter like this past winter, your bills can run $400 to $500 a month.
Yeah.
In an extremely cold winter, they can run $800 and above.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
And again, a lot of that is, you can conserve all you want, but they continue to increase the rate.
And it's that's the interesting part about this because, I watched NBC Connecticut talk about this. And in one of the articles that they wrote, they were saying that that it didn't matter whether or not you were staying at the same level the entire year, you were still going to see an increase no matter what, right? So all of these people are saying, but wait a minute, I'm doing all the conservation that I'm being told to do. I'm an environmental warrior, but I'm still getting fleeced. And no one could explain that.
Right. And I will also tell you, Reese, I changed suppliers 3 years ago.
Wow.
And when you change your supplier, it takes EverSource 3 months to process that. So you change your supplier May 1st of 2023 for a 1-year contract for 10 cents per kilowatt hour versus 12.
Right.
For 3 months, you're still paying the EverSource rate because it takes them that long, they claim, to process the new rate with the new supplier.
Do you think that's bogus? Do you think that they do that 3 months so they can continue to get that extra money?
I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I believe that too. That doesn't 3 months seems that 90 days to get a switch happening?
Correct. So that means you're only with your new supplier for 9 months of the year, even though you have a 1-year contract.
Yeah, that's insane. But 400. I'm sorry. If my wife were listening right now and she heard you say $400 on that electric bill, she'd wring my neck. We're at about $180, and she goes nuts when that bill comes in. So I mean, I
live in a rural area, so to flush a toilet, you have to use electricity.
Wow.
To run water, you have to use electricity.
That's incredible. You know what, Denise, thank you for that. And I know you said you're a long-time listener but first-time caller. I'm glad that we inspired you to call today.
Okay, Reese. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. Let's go to Phil in Southington. Hello, Phil. You are Reese on the radio.
How you doing, Mr. Reese? Phil here in Southington. You inspired me just before the 5:30 break when you talked about Kamala being washed out of the czar, the border czar.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of the early days. I'm a little older than you are.
Okay.
But the Politburo and the Kremlin, when you fell out of favor and you were airbrushed out of the photos.
Right. I like that.
I also, this last caller, talking about Eversource, and I said this temporary 10-month tax thing. Well, guaranteed in 10 months, when this allegedly goes away, how many programs like this do you know that go away?
There's no such thing.
There might be a rate increase that comes up to just under the level of where this drops off, and then we won't remember all this. And oh, look, we got a reduction.
Yeah. And
Just
and
like
that
you
will
said.
be the bait and switch. That's a good point. I again, to sort of distract everybody from the money in which they stole from everyone, they'll turn around and then say it was like, oh, look, we got a rebate. You know, it's and that will be the whole bait and switch that gets everybody distracted.
And at no point did my fingers ever leave my hands.
Thank you, Phil. Much appreciated. Hey,
Take
Craig.
care, sir.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, sir. Craig's in the car. Hello, Craig. Always in the car.
Yeah, I'm always in the car. So Andre, I think, is a chatbot, first of all. And yes, I always want to smell better naked.
Okay.
Because if the way you smell when you're naked matters, you're in a good spot.
Right.
So I'm an 8 out of 10 about moving, and I was a 10 out of 10 a month ago and a 5 out of 10 2 months ago, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, now hold on.
So-
Just so, because remember, numbers are important in radio, so we got to give. So you went from a 5 out of 10, you said 2 months ago?
Yep.
And then you went,
To a 10.
you went all the way up to a 10 out of 10, and now you're back down to an 8 out of 10. That's a fluctuation.
Back down to an 8.
Okay. Tell me how that
well,
works.
My wife and I are born and raised here.
Mm-hmm.
We love it, except for the politics and the costs. My son moved to Georgia, in Atlanta. We have a grandson that lives there, but we have a daughter that lives here.
Aha.
Right? So we want to be with grandson. So back in June, when we were 5, we said, let's go visit Georgia. And we spent a week down there. And our best friends also moved to Savannah last year from right here in Connecticut.
One of my favorite cities.
So we spent a few days with them in Savannah. And we got to the point when we were in Georgia, we were looking at houses, my friend.
Oh, man.
We were doing the tour. And my wife and I both said, yeah, Georgia's where we want to go. And I said to my friend, my best friend, who just moved to Savannah, I said, the only thing that could screw this up, this was on a Sunday, the only thing that would mess this plan up is if my daughter gets pregnant.
Oh.
We flew home Sunday night. On Monday morning, my daughter, who lives here in Connecticut, says, I am pregnant.
Oh, man. It was like you almost talked it into existence.
I did. You reap what you sow.
Hey, you know what? But you know what? Listen, look at it this way, right? If you're lucky, maybe you can convince your daughter to take the new grandchild and everybody go to Savannah, right?
Well, my son-in-law, God bless his soul, he is a Second Amendment vigilante, and he does not want to stay here. So
anything could happen.
There's that chance.
Yeah, I hear you.
That chance.
Craig, let me jump in. I got a couple of last ones I need to jump in, but I appreciate you, buddy. Let me get these guys in because they've been home for a while. Let's go to Rick in Hebron real quick. Hello, Rick. You on Reese on the radio?
Hey, Reese, how you doing? I just wanted to say that as far as moving out of Connecticut, I'm a 10. Wow. I own a home in Connecticut, and my car taxes and house taxes are $10,000 a year.
Ooh.
I own a home in Merrill's Inlet, South Carolina, 1,800 square foot, and on a golf course, gated community with a built-in swimming pool
Yeah.
no car taxes.
Yeah.
So that's a huge jump, first of all.
Yeah. That's an incentive.
then
That's an incentive out the wazoo, as we say.
Oh, it's incredible. So where's all our money going in Connecticut? And for all these people that keep voting for these Democrats that have been in there so long, it's time to make a change. And the change might not work, but you know what? Give it a try.
Yeah.
And then my last thing I want to tell you, Reese, is if Tim from Hamden's milk went sour in his refrigerator, he would blame Donald Trump for it.
Thank you,
All right,
Rick.
Reese.
Thank
You
you,
have a
sir.
good day.
Let's go to Dave in Brantford. Hello, Dave. You're on Reese on the Radio.
Reese, how are you?
I'm
the only
good,
thing
sir.
worse than our electric, I know California and Michigan's talking about doing it next, is a income-based rate structure for your electric bill.
Yeah.
So it's like your income tax.
That's
it's,
right.
Progressive.
That's right.
And so you can't even say it's 9 cents a kilowatt because it could be 2 cents if you make this amount, and it could be 20 cents if you make that amount.
Mhm.
That is the worst possible thing, and I think that's where we're going.
And didn't we talk about that before? I'm almost certain we talked about that where I think was the what's the name of the box that they were going to put on everybody? It was the meter that they were going to put on everybody's box so they can gauge exactly how much energy you use, because that is primarily what the idea is. If you've got a big house and you use a lot of energy, they were going to penalize you based upon that. You use more than everybody else, and so therefore you should charge more so they can subsidize people who can't afford it.
And one more comment on the moving out of state. If I thought staying here and arguing with you would help, that we might convert to a red state, but it is so impervious to movement, there's no way to pry Martin Looney out of his chair.
Yeah.
And that is very discouraging. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter how energized we are, Martin Looney's, New Haven's going to reelect that clown.
Yeah.
And that is very discouraging. No change is possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure,
Bye.
sir. All right, last but not least, let's go to Jeff in Marlboro. Hello, Jeff. You're on Reese on the Radio. Scale of 1 to 10. Where are you, sir?
Hey, well, I'm on a scale of 10-1 to move, but I can't because I got family I got to take care of.
Right.
If I had a place in mind, it'd probably be North Carolina.
A lot of people. Like everyone's talking north, south, and Georgia, that southern part of the East Coast.
Yeah, because it seems like temperate weather and it'd be nice. But I actually called in about something else.
Go for it. No, you got time.
Okay. The comment you made earlier about your ancestors coming over on the Love Boat or the
on the Carnival Cruise Line.
I almost spit my food out when you said that. But you got to be lighthearted. And
Yes.
I know I got a lot of Irish and German ancestry, and they had a hard time after World War II.
Sure.
The Irish always had a hard time. Nothing like your people.
Right.
But I'm just telling you, man, to be lighthearted and move on. I think you had me dying laughing, man.
Listen to me. That just made my day, Jeff. Thank you for being the final caller today, because that's what it's all about, man. I hold no grudges. I have lived a charmed life. I live a charmed life. I am the luckiest and the most blessed person in the world with just the little bit that I have. If you gave me more, I'd only be more grateful, man. So I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad I made you laugh that way. That's my thing. I love when people express that thing. And I said one day, about a year ago, I came on the air and I said, "Do you like racism?" "I sure do." And the guy sent an email to me and said, "Dude, that had to be the craziest thing I ever heard on the radio." But I was like, I don't know why people like it. For me, it's not that it isn't a big deal, but for me, I come at it with a different approach. That's just who I am. I deal with my personal things, and I love everybody to love everybody and to enjoy one another, even the people that don't get along with me ideologically. Thank you again, Jeff, for that. I appreciate you. We got to get up out of here, folks. We're going to come back tomorrow. Don't forget, we've got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it. Friday, the airing of grievances. Don't forget to call us up tomorrow all day. We're taking all of your calls and your airing of grievances. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio, and he is Andre Farrow, with the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, guys.
And still working on this crash, eastbound 84, right around the area of exit 43, which is
All right, good sir.
Thank you,
enjoy
sir.
the rest of your evening.
Thank you, man.
well,
You
which is
too.
really not helpful.
Eat something good and be ready for the go tomorrow.
Are you ready?
So you're very
All right, man.
Bound. And we're very busy if you're traveling on Route 6, eastbound and westbound, approaching.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really, really do. And thank you all for being here, even you, Michael Niner Joyner. By the way, let me clarify something that you just said there. Michael Niner Jordan says, you are right about one thing. You have to go in with an open mind. I don't believe in open minds. Open minds are for malleable people. Malleable, word of the day. I am not malleable. I don't have an open mind. Okay? Belief is for people who lack knowledge, because if you don't know, you'll believe anything. So I make sure I know. My point of view is based on knowledge, not on my beliefs. It is based on knowledge, actual life experiences. So if I believe in it, that means that I'm not sure. But if I know it, I'm on solid ground. So I don't believe in open minds. Open minds means you can change with the weather. You have no conviction. I keep conviction. Okay? But you know what? To each his own. Live your life the way that you see fit. It's not my birthday yet, Tara. It's on Wednesday. Everybody say happy birthday. I promise it's on Wednesday. I'll be here on Wednesday. I love you guys. Y'all be good. I just said it's based on knowledge. Do you not understand that? Knowledge. Knowledge is gaining knowledge so that I have conviction. It must be codified for me to know it, not believe it. Believing is for people who lack knowledge. I must know it in order for it to be codified. I'm not malleable. You can believe anything you want. One day you believe this, the next day you believe that. That's what malleable means. I have conviction. I don't believe in what I say. I know it. It's just for me. See how that works? It's sad that I have to explain this to you, but it's only frightening to you because no one's ever said it to you before. That's all. But I appreciate the commentary. All right? Now, talk about really dumb. That's at 11 o'clock Eastern, sir. You go enjoy yourself.